Hello all of you again. Great to see you again for the ANUBHAV test series, and I'm sure you are enjoying the test series and preparing very well for your examination. All the best from my side in advance. So let's start discussing the questions on economy. The first question that economic section was asking you was, with reference to fisheries sector of India, consider the following statements. And one was the annual average growth rate of fisheries sector has been above 7% since 1617. Correct statement. Because the annual average growth rate in fact has been 8.5% since 2016-17. Then ranching is an extensive farming method where the fish species are raised in captivity. True again, this has been done quite a bit for developing land fishing in India and developing the idea of aquaculture. Third is marine fisheries in India presently contribute 70% of total fish production. This is a false statement. Marine fisheries in India are at the moment contributing almost 85% of total fish production. And then tilapia is one of the most productive and internationally traded food fish in the world. That's true again. Tilapia was in news because India has developed a specific 100 crore rupees program to promote tilapia production in southern coast of India. So that is why tilapia was in news in the recent past. So 1, 2 and 4 is your correct answer. The answer will be option C. 1, 2 and 4, option C. The next question was question 71. Which of the following are main objectives of MSP? So one is check the fall in price beyond a limit. True again, and this is to protect the farmer. Minimum support price का purpose होता है कि farmer को protect कर सके. So this is to protect the farmer. Second is protect the interest of the consumers. That is second. Protect the interests of the consumers. That is not true. For protecting the interest of the consumers, there is issue price. कम दाम पे प्राइस रिलीज करना जो फूड कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया करती है. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड इशू प्राइस. दैट इज नॉट मिनिमम support price. And then make procurement from wholesalers easy. That is also not true. It is not about procuring from wholesalers. It is procuring from the farmers and giving them the benefit of minimum support price. So the answer in this case will be A, 1 only. It is not procurement from wholesalers. It is procuring from the farmers to give them the benefit of minimum support price. So the answer will be A in this case. Then the next question is, with reference to external sector reforms, consider the following statements. First is, it falls under the category of liberalization. That's true. External sector reforms like reducing import restrictions, promoting export subsidy and export promotion, replacing FERA by FEMA, these are all liberalization policies that we conducted. Then relaxation of trade policy was done to make raw material import cheaper. That's also true. In fact, we made import duty, average import duty reduced from 150% to 15%. So the objective was to make the raw material cheaper so that more production units can open their shops in India. And third, the devaluation of Indian rupee was another major reform. Remember, this devaluation was done immediately in 1991, July, where rupee was devalued from 12 rupees a dollar to 20 rupees a dollar. उसके बाद हम धीरे धीरे मार्केट एक्सचेंज रेट पे शिफ्ट हुए, फ्लोटिंग एक्सचेंज रेट पे शिफ्ट हुए, मैनेज्ड फ्लोटिंग पे. Gradually we shifted to managed floating exchange rate, market exchange rate between 1992 March and 1994 March. In between we had the policy of liberalized exchange rate management system. I'm sure you would recall that. So the answer to this will be D. All the three statements are correct. The answer to this will be D. All the three statements are correct. Then the next question was, with reference to RBI gold bonds, consider the following statements. First is, gold bonds are government securities denominated in grams of gold issued by the RBI. Correct. Correct. सरकार की सिक्योरिटी है और सरकार के बिहाफ पे RBI issue करती है. All right. Second is, investors have to pay the issue price in cash and the bonds can be redeemed in cash on maturity. करेक्ट अगेन. तो इसमें बेनिफिट क्या है? कोशिश ये है सरकार की कि लोग सोना खरीदने की जगह गोल्ड बॉन्ड खरीद लें, तो भारत का गोल्ड इंपोर्ट थोड़ा कम हो जाएगा. The gold import that India has to do, because many people buy gold as investment, then if people have to buy gold as investment, let them buy gold bonds rather than physical gold. That is the objective of the government. And the tenure of the bond is for 8 years, but it can be redeemed. आप पैसा वापस ले सकते हो 5 साल के बाद. ये भी एक पार्ट है गोल्ड बॉन्ड का. All the 3 statements are correct. Our answer is 1, 2 and 3. All the 3 statements are correct. Our answer is 1, 2 and 3. Remember, I repeat, the objective of issuing gold bond is to shift people away from holding physical gold and let them hold gold in terms of these bonds. These bonds are issued by RBI and they can be kept in the dematerialized form. डीमटेरियलाइज फॉर्म में ये बॉन्ड रखे जाते हैं, आरबीआई इशू करती है और अब डिजी लॉकर में भी इसकी सुविधा उपलब्ध है. यू कैन इवन कीप दिस बॉन्ड्स अंडर योर डिजी लॉकर कॉन्टैक्ट्स. सो द आंसर इज डी फॉर क्वेश्चन नंबर 73. Question 74, the question was, which of the following parameters are included in HDI? Standard of living is included. It is included and calculated by taking the log of gross national income. जो स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग मेजर करने का तरीका होता है वो लॉग ऑफ ग्रॉस नेशनल इनकम यूज करके होता है. Women empowerment is not a part of Human Development Index. Level of education is there. It uses adult education, mean years of adult education, and it uses the expected years of child staying in school. तो इन दोनों को यूज करता है. And education is a parameter and life expectancy is for health. So it is a parameter. So these are the 3 parameters. 1, 3 and 4 is your correct answer. 1, 3 and 4 is your correct answer. The answer will be D. 1, 3 and 4 is your correct answer. The answer will be D. That life expectancy used for health. Level of education in terms of mean years of adult education and expected years of education that a child would have in school, and standard of living measured by log of gross national income. So these things are used in HDI. India's current rank in HDI is 132. Keep that in mind. And the number 1 country is now Switzerland, replacing Norway after 10 years. Keep that in mind. From prelims point of view, they can become relevant. Norway is now number 2. The next question is, which of the following is not a part of expansionist monetary policy? Expansionist monetary policy means which increases liquidity. जो चीज इकोनॉमी में मनी सप्लाई को बढ़ा दे उसे कहते हैं expansionist monetary policy. What increases liquidity in the economy, money supply in the economy, is what we call expansionist monetary policy. So remember, cutting the statutory liquidity ratio will mean banks have to keep less money now in government's assets and all, and therefore the banks can lend more freely to the market. Correct answer. Second, increase the marginal standing facility rate. False. Decrease करने पे होगा ना. Increase कर दोगे तब तो loan महंगा हो गया. If we increase MSF rate, then the loans become costlier. It will discourage liquidity. So decreasing होता तो true statement होता. Cut the bank rate and repo rate. True. Because if we reduce the bank rate and reduce the repo rate, then banks can borrow at a cheaper rate from the market, and that will increase liquidity. So the answer in this is 1 and 3 only. So that will mean the option C is the answer in this case. You know, choose the correct answer from the code given below. That which of the following, I'm so sorry, my mistake in discussion. I chose the correct answer in this discussion. Rather, we should have chosen the incorrect ones, because it says that we talk about that which of them is not a part of expansionist monetary policy. But with the explanation, you would have got it, that not a part of expansionist monetary policy is 2. मैं फिर repeat कर दूं, अगर आप statutory liquidity ratio कम करते हो तो expansionist monetary policy होगी, money supply बढ़ेगा. अगर आप बैंक रेट और रेपो रेट को कम करते हो, मनी सप्लाई बढ़ेगा, because the banks will get loans cheaper and therefore there will be more money supply. But if you increase the marginal standing facility rate, then money supply will be reduced. That is because now banks will find it costlier to borrow from RBI, and therefore we say that if it is not a part of expansionist monetary policy, then it has to be 2. So the answer will be B, 2 only, not a part of expansionist monetary policy. The next question we have is to match the following. So see, a boom period is when you talk about a period of rapid economic expansion resulting in higher GDP. समझना यहाँ हाई इन्फ्लेशन भी होता है, तो ये भी दिमाग में हम रख सकते हैं. That rapid economic expansion with high inflation, boom period. Recession is a period in which there is a economic downturn which is negative GDP growth. So recession means significant economic downturn that lasts more than a few quarters, and there is negative GDP growth. Not only a slowdown in GDP, it has to be a negative GDP growth. And then depression is a severe and prolonged downturn in economic activity. Depression means deflation plus recession. जब सारे sentiments negative हो रहे हो, so deflation plus recession, there is a severe economic downturn that we see in the system. And recovery is a sustained period in which the economy is improving its business activity. कि depression के बाद आप recover कर रहे हो या recession के बाद आप recover कर रहे हो, GDP growth बढ़ने लगा, prices थोड़े बढ़ने लगे, लोगों में confidence बढ़ने लगा, तो वो हुआ recovery. So our answer will be A4, B3, C2 and D1, and that is option A. A4, B3, C2, D1, that is option A. समझना इस बात में, रिसेशन और डिप्रेशन में कंफ्यूजन हो सकता है कभी कभी तुम्हें, बट ये समझ लेना सिवियर का मतलब ही डिप्रेशन हो जाएगा, ऐसे सोचना होता है हमें. दैट इफ इट इज सिवियर इट हैज टू बी डिप्रेशन. Then the next question was on current account deficit. So the current account records the net change of assets and liabilities during the given year. That's a correct statement. कि एक इकोनॉमी से कितने पैसे बाहर गए, कितने लौट कर आए. Current change assets of liabilities in a given year. ये catch word था यहाँ, तो ये correct statement हुआ. A current account deficit indicates that we are importing more than it is exporting. Now remember, when you look at this, we are importing more than we are exporting. When we say that is true, because then only you will have a current account deficit. All right. In the first statement, remember, when we say current account records the net change of assets and liabilities during the given year, sounds good, but only current account doesn't record it. It is also recorded by capital account. So we say that this statement will be false because it is also recorded by capital account. We say that this statement is false because it is also recorded by capital account. So remember, a current account records net change of assets and liabilities in the given year. Well, okay, it can based on inflow and outflow of money, but majorly FDI, FII, borrowing is the real change in asset and liabilities, and that is also recorded. So since this doesn't include capital account, therefore the statement becomes false. The second statement is true, that it indicates that country is importing more than it is exporting. So my current account is in deficit. एक बात समझना, ये शब्द indicates उसे true करता है. Indicates, ये नहीं कि ये पक्की बात है. पॉसिबल है कि आप इंपोर्ट ज्यादा कर रहे हो, एक्सपोर्ट कम, लेकिन आपके रेमिटेंसेस ज्यादा आ गए. You get more remittances, you get more net factor income from abroad. Your current account may not be in deficit then. But if current account is in deficit, it can indicate, it is not necessary, but it can indicate that imports are more than exports. And then India's current account deficit is constantly declining in last decade. False. India's current account deficit, और India had a current account surplus, ये याद रखना, India had a current account surplus in the year 2020-21, and after that current account deficit has been rising in India. भारत का current account surplus में था in the year 2020-21, और उसके बाद से current account deficit बढ़ता रहा है भारत का. तो ऐसे दिमाग में ट्रेंड याद रखने हैं, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे काम आता है इन चीज़ों में. Such questions you are helped by economic survey. So the question says Which of the statement are not correct? The first and third statement are not correct. So your answer will be C. First and third statement are not correct. So your answer will be C. Then the next question is, consider the following statements with regard to strategic disinvestment. When the government sells majority share in a public sector industry, that is strategic disinvestment. True. And in fact, you know what is happening mostly? When the government sells majority share in public sector industry to another public sector industry, तब उसे privatization की जगह strategic disinvestment का नाम ज़्यादा दिया जाता है. That rather than calling it privatization, it is called strategic disinvestment. And under strategic disinvestment, the government transfers the ownership and control of public sector entity to another public entity and private sector is not involved here. That is not necessarily true. ये हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता. So that is not necessarily true. Strategic disinvestment means government can shift the share and then sell itself to only a public sector or only a private sector. So the statement says it does not involve private sector. ये बात इसको गलत बता देती है. अगर यहाँ both private and public sector होता तो true हो जाता ये statement. So only first statement is correct. Question says which of the given above are correct. So the option you will choose will be A, one only. That it is about selling government share in a majority stake, but it doesn't mean it doesn't involve or it cannot involve private sector. The next question we see is consider the following statement with respect to current account convertibility. So current account convertibility means freedom to convert say rupee into dollar and dollar into rupee for trade in goods and invisible. Invisible का मतलब होता है trade in services, net factor income from abroad and remittances from abroad. ये सारे current account के component होते हैं, तो ये हैं invisibles. And then under current account convertibility for the rupee, an exporter can sell foreign currency from exporting a commodity at market determined exchange rate in India. True again. It is full current account convertibility. जो भी पैसा आप current account पे earn कर रहे हो, वो बड़े आराम से आप convert कर सकते हो डॉलर को रूपी में या रूपी को डॉलर में. दोनों ही statement सही हैं. So the answer will be both 1 and 2. That is C option. Both 1 and 2 are correct option here. The next question we see is consider the following statements. Frictional unemployment is the time period between jobs when a worker is searching for or transitioning from one job to another. True. और इसी frictional unemployment को natural rate of unemployment भी बोलते हैं और इसी को नायरू भी बोलते हैं, non-accelerating inflation rate of unemployment. So this frictional unemployment is also called natural rate of unemployment and it is also called non-accelerating inflation rate of unemployment. When people are switching between jobs or taking a small sabbatical, full employment भी इसी level को कहा जाता है. And और जब economy इस level पे होती है तो उसे ही potential GDP भी कहा जाता है. When the economy is at natural level of unemployment, that is what we call potential GDP. And structural unemployment occurs when there is a mismatch between skills of unemployed workers and skill needed. True. The structure of the economy might have become modern. हो सकता है आपके यहाँ service sector dominate कर रहा है, लेकिन लोग अभी भी agriculture की तरह trained हैं, तो structural unemployment होगा. चाहते हैं काम करना, मिल नहीं रहा क्योंकि training अलग level की needed है. So that is structural unemployment. That when people need to take up a job, they are not getting it, and that is because of structural unemployment. So the answer here is that both these statements are true. The part is C. Next then, consider the following statements regarding Vostro account. A Vostro account is defined as an account that a correspondent bank holds on behalf of another bank and that is a foreign bank. अगर एक foreign bank ने अपना एक account एक domestic bank के साथ open कर रखा है तो उसे कहते हैं Vostro account. Vostro मतलब yours, Nostro मतलब ours. तो ये जो foreign bank है वो इसी account को Nostro बोलेगी और जो domestic bank है वो इसी account को Vostro बोलेगी. The foreign bank will call the same account Nostro and the domestic bank will call the same account Vostro. and then enables one to offer international banking solutions to a customer without opening a bank branch in a foreign nation. You know, that is the benefit of it. ये किया ही इसलिए जाता है कि मैं अपने बैंक का ब्रांच ना खोलूं, लेकिन फिर भी मेरे बिहाफ पे आप पैसे ले लो जिसे मैं यूज कर सकता हूं. You take the money on my behalf and I can use that money. So an Indian importer buying Russian oil can deposit rupee in the Vostro account opened by a Russian bank in an Indian bank. And this rupee can be used by the Russian bank to make payment to an Indian exporter on behalf of their Russian customers. So that is the idea of Vostro bank and Nostro account. So both the statements are true. The answer is both 1 and 2. Then comes the next thing. If an increase in consumer income leads, देखो consumer income बढ़ रहा है, decrease in demand, तो इसका मतलब हुआ कि ये जो camping equipment है वो inferior good है. Definition of factors affecting demand. If increase in income leads to decrease in demand, it must be an inferior good. If increase in income leads to increase in demand, it must be a normal good. Then next one, if you will see, consider the following statements about fiscal management. ये budget से pick किया है हम लोगों ने. The union government will give 50 years of interest-free loan to states which are to be spent on capital expenditure within 2023-24. Now this statement that is given is correct. All right, this is a correct statement. A fiscal deficit of 3.5% of state GDP is allowed for states and 0.5% is for power sector reforms. Correct. ये सारे बजट से factuals pick किए हुए हैं. अगर आप बजट पढ़े हो तो ये factuals ध्यान में होंगे आपके. If you have read the budget, the factuals will be there with you. Targeted fiscal deficit to be below 4.5% by 24-25 false. It will be at 4.5% by 25-26. So the third statement is false. The first two statements are true. So our answer is B. Correct as per the budget. The answer is B. The next question we see, consider the following about budget estimates for fiscal year 23-24. The share of subsidies is more than share of defense in union budget allocations. And remember, the question says which of the statements are not correct. Now, share of subsidies is not more than defense allocation. Defense allocation has the highest share in union budget. All right, defense allocation has the highest share in union budget. हाँ, अगर सारे subsidies ले लें, agriculture, electronic, trade, तो ये बात true होगी. पर जब सिर्फ subsidies लिखा हो, तो ये बात false हो जाती है. Interest payment on borrowings is about 25% of total expenditure. False. It is around 20% of total expenditure. That is why it goes false. Centrally sponsored schemes have a higher allocation of funds than central sector schemes. False. Equal allocation. दोनों पे 8% of budget खर्च हो रहा है. तो equal allocation है, higher allocation नहीं है. तो इसीलिए ये आंसर होगा इसका 1, 2 and 3. All the statements are not correct. ये क्वेश्चन है जो तुम्हें अगर थोड़ा भी डाउट है तो छोड़ देना चाहिए. इसमें ट्रिक्स थे. थर्ड स्टेटमेंट ये ट्रिकी स्टेटमेंट था. पहला सेकंड स्टेटमेंट ये ट्रिकी स्टेटमेंट था. तो जब ऐसे क्वेश्चंस में नहीं हो हवा तो छोड़ दो, जबरदस्ती के अटेम्प्ट मत किया करो. ये क्वेश्चन देता ही हूँ इसलिए तुम लोगों को कि सीख सको कैसे क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट नहीं करने. There is a typical question that ideally you should not attempt if you don't remember the numbers from budget. This will 9 out of 10 times get you incorrect answer. So that is why try not attempting such questions, and then they take a lot of time when you read through it again and again. So this is a typical example of a question that ideally I would have liked my student to leave. Then the next question is, as per the budget, consider the statement, the Prime Minister has given a vision for life or lifestyle for environment towards an environmentally conscious lifestyle. True. It is a part of Saptarishi program and it is also a part of Panchamrit. So the life program has been included and given special pact in the budget. India is moving forward formally for the Panchamrit and net zero carbon emission by 2030. यहाँ ऑब्जेक्शन है, अगर यहाँ 2070 लिखा होता तो आप फिर भी इस स्टेटमेंट को ट्रू मार्क कर सकते थे, बट 2030 ने इसको फॉल्स बना दिया. तो आप पूछते हैं वो दैट विच आर नॉट करेक्ट. सो 2 इज नॉट करेक्ट, 1 is correct. So my option chosen will be B, 2 only. 2 is not correct, 1 is correct. Why is 2 not correct? It should be 2070 and not 2030. The next question we have is, as per the Union Budget 23-24, the PM program, if you look at this, for restoration, awareness, nourishment and amelioration of Mother Earth, this PM Pranam will be launched to incentivize states and UTs to promote alternative fertilizers and balanced use of chemical fertilizers. True, directly from budget statement. ये जो फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर बजट में बोल रहे थे, ये वहीं से लिया गया, budget statement. And the second is 50 new waste to wealth plants under Gobardhan scheme will be established to promote a circular economy. True again directly from budget statement. ये बातें तो अनाउंस हुई थी बजट में, ये भी नहीं कि कुछ छिपा हुआ था. These things were announced, they were not hidden facts. So both 1 and 2 are correct. The question says which of the above are not correct, and the answer will be neither 1 nor 2. Alright, the question says which of the above are not correct, and the answer says neither 1 nor 2. Then the next one is, as per the Union Budget 23-24, consider the following statement regarding indirect taxation for green mobility. Exemption of excise duty on GST paid compressed biogas contained in it. True. This is true. 3% exemption has been announced already, and more can be announced, is what the finance minister has said. And then a customs duty exemption is extended to import of capital goods and machinery for manufacture of lithium ion cells for batteries used electric vehicles. True again, no custom duty will be charged for the lithium ion cells imported for battery manufacturing. So both 1 and 2 are correct statement here. Our correct answer will be C. Both 1 and 2 again announced in the budget. ये जितने चीजें मैं पिक की थी मैंने, वो बजट की अनाउंसमेंट से थी. So it is announced in the budget that we have had. So this is the discussion on economics questions that you had this year. All the best for your exam, and I hope you have a great test. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye bye.
Good evening everyone. So here is the discussion on history questions, and the first question regarding this modern Indian history is, it's about Quit India movement. There are 3 statements regarding Quit India movement. The first one is, to show allegiance to the movement, parallel governments were established in every state. Class, the Quit India movement was started on 8th August 1942 by a call given by Gandhi, and Gandhi gave the slogan "Do or Die." But in the early morning of 9th August, all the prominent leaders were arrested. So this movement was a leaderless movement, and Congress did not issue any kind of directive to the people how to carry out these movements. But during the course of the movement, parallel government got established. Parallel government means the certain places were being run by the Indians, and they are cut off from the British administration. British had no power or authority over such regions. So parallel government was a feature of the, what you can say, Quit India movement, and the first parallel government got established in Balia in Eastern UP, and the leader of this parallel government was Chittu Pandey. Is that okay? But parallel governments were the, you can say, initiatives by the Indians. Okay, it has nothing to do with the Congress, and therefore this statement is wrong. First statement is wrong. The Communist Party of India mobilized its supporters for active participation in the movement. No, this is not appropriate, because the Communist Party of India was supporting the British government. Why it was supporting the British government? The reason was that, class, that during the World War, the Quit India movement, okay, it started in 1942. So this is the World War era, and during the World War, Germany had been fighting against Russia as well as England. Russia being a communist country, so Communist Party supported Russia, and thereby obviously Communist Party will also support British government. So when Communist Party started supporting British government, and and you can say that Communist Party is bound to support Russia, and it is already supporting British government. So, the Quit India movement was launched against whom? The Quit India movement was launched against the British government. So, Communist Party will not support the Quit India movement. So, this statement is the Communist Party of India mobilized its support for active participation in the movement is wrong. Third, the movement did not revoke the this should be evoke, not revoke. This is evoke. The movement did not evoke the response from the merchant community. This is true. Merchants did not give response to the movement. In fact, merchants profited out of this movement. So, the third statement is wrong. Correct. First and second is wrong. Answer will be C, third only. Now, the second question or whatever the question number is, it is about pair. Okay, you have to match the pair. How many pairs are correctly matched? Firstly, answer is D. All pairs are correctly matched. Neel Darpan was written somewhere around 1859-60, and Neel Darpan was a book written by Dinbandhu Mitra. In fact, it was a play, and this play was written to highlight the sufferings and the problems of the indigo peasants of Nadia district. Indigo peasants of Nadia district in Bengal, 1859-60. Samvad Kaumudi was a journal published by Ram Mohan Roy. The Economic History of India, published in 1902-3. The Economic History of India was published by R.C. Dutt, who himself was a landlord or from a landlord family, and was formerly, he had been selected as an ICS. Durgesh Nandini was a historical or basically romantic novel, romantic historical novel written in the landscape of or in the period somewhere around Akbar's period, 1670s around this time, by Bankim Chand Chattopadhyay. And Bankim Chand Chatterjee had also written a play called as Anand Math. Okay? So, all the pairs are correctly matched. Next question is, initially the term civil services was used to demarcate civilian employees of East India Company from their military and ecclesiastical counterparts. Yes, initially the term civil services was to demarcate civilian employees from the military and religious counterparts. Number 2, Lord William Bentinck founded the Fort William College. Obviously wrong. It was Wellesley who founded the Fort William College in 1800 to train the civil servants in Indian languages and conventions, traditions and literature. So, this college was established by William, not by William Bentinck, but by Wellesley. Third, the Charter Act of 1853 introduced an open competition for civil services. That is true. So, the statement 1 and the statement 3 is correct. So, answer will be C. Second is wrong. Charter Act of 1853 introduced open competition. Earlier, for the ICS, there was no competitive exam. ICS people were recruited by the court of directors, the executive body of the company. Executive body of the company, they used to pick up, suppose 100 vacancies are there. So, they used to pick up 400 people who were sitting for the exam, and out of these 400, 100 were recruited. But Charter Act of 1853 introduced open competition in this for the civil services. So, answer is C. Next, with reference to the Regulating Act of 1773, consider the following statements. It constituted for the first time a supreme government headed by Governor General in Bengal. True. There was established a government in Bengal which was headed by Governor General, and that Governor General, the first Governor General was Warren Hastings. True. The company surrendered all its personal property in India and held it in trust for the crown. No. This was a provision which was made by the Charter Act of 1833, that the company was now holding all its property in trust of the crown. So, this statement is wrong, because this was the provision made by the Charter Act of 33. Third, it also provided for the establishment of a Supreme Court at Calcutta. Yes, it was proposed in 1773, but the court was established in 1774, and the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court was Elijah Impey, E-L-I-J-A-H, Elijah space Impey, I-M-P-E-Y. So, statement 1 and statement 3 is correct, statement 2 wrong, answer will be D, 1 and 3. Next, regarding judicial reforms, Warren Hastings, number 1, Warren Hastings made the district a unit of judicial administration. True. In each district, collectors were to preside over criminal courts. नहीं, बहुत सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है. Collectors were to preside over civil court, जिसे हम दीवानी अदालत कहते हैं. Third, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court was appointed as the President of the Sadar Diwani Adalat. Supreme Court के पहले सदर दीवानी अदालत दीवानी मामलों में हाईएस्ट कोर्ट थी। तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के बनने के बाद थोड़ा सा टसल शुरू हो गया चीफ जस्टिस में और सदर दीवानी अदालत में कि किसकी पावर ज़्यादा है। तो चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट विल ऑल्सो एक्ट एज प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द सदर दीवानी अदालत, और इस तरह से बना करके इस टसल को खत्म किया गया। तो सेकंड रॉन्ग है, 1 और 3 करेक्ट होगा। तो आंसर क्या होगा? बी, 1 और 3। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट है, after the revolt of 1857, yes, army was reorganized and the proportion of Europeans in the army was raised. For example, in Bengal army, the proportion was made 1:2. With every 1 soldier of Britain, there will be 2 Indians. Soldiers from Awadh, Bihar and Central India were declared to be non-martial. Yes, soldiers from Awadh, Bihar and Central India were declared non-martial because they had participated in the revolt of 1857. So, they were to be now treated as non-martial races, meaning unfit for army recruitment. Third, soldiers belonging to different races or castes were put in different companies. Yes, उनको different companies में रखा गया कि regional loyalties को encourage किया जाए और national unity कभी ना हो पाए। ठीक है, तो सभी सही है इसमें, D. With reference to सन्यासी rebellion, consider the following statement. सन्यासी rebellion 1763 to 1800 है। इसी थीम को बंकिम चंद्र चटर्जी ने आनंद मठ लिखा है। ठीक है, अब famine of 1770 brought a large number of जमींदार, soldiers and rural poor into the bands of सन्यासी and फकीर्स. True. ये जो सन्यासी और फकीर थे ये पहले पीजेंट ही थे, लेकिन इतना ज्यादा रिगरस कलेक्शन होता था रेवेन्यू का, ठीक है, और ब्रिटिश व्हाट यू कैन से एट्रोसिटीज गोडेड देम, या उनको धकेल दिया कि वो सन्यासी और फकीर हो जाए, और वो लोग बैंड एक मतलब हेड ऑफ सन्यासी जो होता था उसके बैंड में 5,000 6,000 के आसपास लोग होते थे। ठीक है, और 1770 में फेमाइन आ गया तो ये लोग ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट रिवोल्ट कर दिए। सन्यासी स्टैब्लिश एन इंडिपेंडेंट गवर्नमेंट इन पार्ट्स ऑफ बंगाल, यस, लाइक डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स लाइक मेमन सिंह, ओके, उन्होंने इंडिपेंडेंट गवर्नमेंट बनाई। तिलका मांझी, बुद्धू भगत एंड देवी सिंह वेयर सम ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट लीडर्स ऑफ दिस मूवमेंट। नहीं, ये सही नहीं है, तो 1 और 2 इज करेक्ट। सी मतलब ओनली 2 स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट। इसके जो लीडर्स हैं, ठीक है, these were not the leaders. Okay, Tilka Maji was the leader of what you can say संथाल रिवोल्ट, एंड बुद्धू भगत जिसका नाम है बुद्धू भगत, ये रिवोल्ट, ये लीडर है कोल रिवोल्ट के, और देवी सिंह है आपको एग्रेरियन रिवोल्ट इन रंगपुर एंड दिनाजपुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स ऑफ बांग्लादेश। तो ये लोग नहीं रिलेटेड हैं। ठीक है, इसके लीडर जो हैं वो है मंजूषा देवी चौधरानी, मंजूषा देवी चौधरानी, क्लियर, भवानी पाठक, ये लोग लीडर हैं सन्यासी के। ठीक है, भवानी पाठक, मंजूषा एंड देवी चौधरानी। ठीक है, और ये तिलका मांझी संथाल के, बुद्धू भगत कोल के, और देवी सिंह रंगपुर एंड दिनाजपुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स के। सो आंसर इज सी। विथ रेफरेंस टू संथाल रिबेलियन कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट। दमन-ए-को was the land of Santhals situated in the hill ranges of खानदेश। नहीं, राजमहल हिल्स बंगाल और झारखंड के बॉर्डर पे दमन-ए-को was the land of Santhals. True. Birsa Munda was the leader of the Santhal rebellion. No. Sidhu and Kanu, 2 brothers who belonged to the tribe called as Murmu. Sidhu Murmu and Kanu Murmu was the leader of the Santhal revolt. Third, large numbers of low caste non-Santhal supported the Santhals. Yes, large numbers of low caste people also supported the Santhal movement. So 1 is wrong because it was in Bengal. Another Birsa Munda, no, this is also wrong. Third is correct, only 3 answer will be there. Yes, A. Next, Raja Ram Mohan Roy ke regarding, he demanded the grant of property rights to women. Yes, he demanded that women must inherit their ancestral rights. Due to his efforts, Widows Remarriage Act was passed. No, due to his effort, okay, it was, okay, Sati was made illegal. Sati was made illegal. He challenged the intellectual rationale of conversion to Christianity. Yes, he did not convert himself to Christianity, and he challenged the rationale to Christianity because he used to say Oriental religions and Western religion, that is Christianity, both have the same idea of one God, monotheism. क्योंकि उपनिषद में भी one God की थीम को ही बताया गया। तो this is correct, second is wrong, and this one will be correct. Okay, so 1 and 3 होना चाहिए, C answer, yes, 1 and 3. Next, landholder society, correctly matched, yes, true. Bombay Presidency Association, Badruddin Tayyab, true. Deccan Educational Society, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So D, all three are correct. All this. Next, with reference to agrarian movement after 1857, Indigo revolt failed to gather support from the Indians as well as from the British press. No, this is incorrect. Indigo revolt of 1859-60 did get support from British press as well as Indians. During the Pabna movement, there was peasant unity across various sections. Yes, Hindu-Muslim unity was a Pabna movement of 1870s and 1880s. You will notice Hindu-Muslim unity was a characteristic feature. Ramosi uprising was a non-violent. No, it was a violent movement. It was a violent movement led by Vasudev Balwant Phatke in the year 1879 in Maharashtra. So, first is wrong, third is wrong, statement 2 will be correct, answer will be A. There is a statement regarding, this is purely factual, इसमें discussion का कोई scope नहीं है, purely factual question है. Famously known as Palegar, he was the chieftain of the Vijayanagar Empire and is credited as the founder of Bengaluru, known to have developed around 1000 lakes in the city to cater to drinking and agricultural needs. He is credited for prohibiting the custom of amputating the last 2 fingers of the left hand of unmarried women during the Bandi Devaru, an important custom of Monasu Vakaliggas. It is about Kempegowda. Do you remember Bangalore was established by this, okay, Palegar? Palegar means Nayak. Palegar used to be Nayak, you can say military chief. So, it was Nadprabhu Hiriya Kempegowda. There is a statue in Bengaluru also, who had been establishing this Bangalore city during the Vijayanagar kingdom, and he got, you can say, right to build fort in Bangalore by Achyut Devrai, who was the brother of Krishna Dev Rai during his period, and Achyut Dev Rai का period है आपको this period, okay, and in this period he established Bangalore, okay. So answer is B. Next, with reference to Alluri Sitaram Raju, consider the following statement. He is also known as Manyam Viradu. Yes, Manyam Viradu means hero of the jungle. He led a movement, he organized the peasants in Andhra during the non-cooperation movement days, okay, and he was inspired from Gandhi, but did not believe in non-violence. He was inspired from Gandhi, but did not believe in non-violence. So, he led a movement of the tribals against the Madras Forest Act of 1882, which prohibited tribals from engaging in their traditional Podu agriculture system. Podu agriculture system means shifting agriculture. The tribals of Andhra, they used to do the shifting agriculture, and Forest Act of Madras Forest Act of 1882 was putting a ban on that kind of cultivation. So, he launched a movement called as Rampa Rebellion during 1922 to 24. Okay. So, this is true, this is wrong because it is not under the civil disobedience movement, it was during non-cooperation movement, and this is what, that is the reason why people started calling him as Manyam Viradu, meaning hero of the jungle. So, statement 1 and 3 is correct, C, C, C. Yes, 2 statements are correct. Next question. The terms Vara, Pon and Homu were related to which among the following? Okay. So, the next question will be discussed by, okay, the culture teacher who teaches, okay, culture. It is about a question on what you can say, the teacher who teaches culture, it is about, okay, coins, Vijayanagar coins are called, but teacher will discuss you, okay. So, thank you class, thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I am Rahul Sengar and we will be discussing the ancient and art and culture question that have been asked in ANUBHAV paper 2. So, there are 4 questions total. Without wasting any time, let us discuss that. So, the first question is about with reference to the famous social reformer Basavana, okay. which of the following statement is not correct? Okay, which of the following statement is not correct? तो हमें not पूछना है. अब let's say discuss about. डिस्कशन में ये नहीं है कि बेसिकली मैं डायरेक्टली आपको आंसर बता दूं. लेट्स डिस्कस समथिंग दैट मे बी आस्क्ड इन यूपीएससी. तो फर्स्टली व्हाई दिस क्वेश्चन. सो द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू शुड बी आस्किंग, व्हाई दिस क्वेश्चन हैज बीन आस्क्ड. व्हाई का मतलब दो रीजन है मेनली. वन, लिंगायत, आपने देखा होगा इट वाज इन न्यूज बिकॉज ऑफ द इलेक्शन. यू कैन से द लिंगायत वाज इन न्यूज. ओके, देन द सेकेंड पॉइंट अगर आप देखोगे, इन द प्रेसिडेंट स्पीच, बिफोर यू कैन से द बजट, द प्रेसिडेंट स्पीच, देयर इज अ मेंशन ऑफ अ वर्ड कायकव कैलाशा. ठीक है, सो दिस वर्ड वॉज मेंशन इन द प्रेसिडेंट स्पीच. What is the meaning of this? So this meaning is the work is worship. Work is worship. Related to the, you can say the Shiva and all those things. So they will be saying the work is the worship. This is the main thing of that was discussed by the president speech. Okay. तो ये important हो गए. ये दो reason हो गए इसके. अब क्या क्या पूछ सकता है? या तो डायरेक्टली आपसे ये पूछ सकता है वो कि ये किसने बोला है, तो बसावना का है ये. ठीक है. देन लिंगायत के बारे में क्वेश्चन आ सकता है इन यूपीएससी. ओके, ये तो हमने एक टॉपिक चूज किया कि दिस टॉपिक कैन बी इंपॉर्टेंट. अदरवाइज दे कैन ऑल्सो आस्क अबाउट द बसावना. Okay, so let's discuss about what are the things that you have to remember from these particular, you can say the question. Okay, from this particular question what you have to remember, the first thing is about the Basavana. So about में अगर Basavana देखोगे, he is a 12th century. Okay, then he is the founder of Lingayat. Lingayat is a sect that is very famous in the Carnatic region, you can say. So Lingayat is a sect. Now what is the Lingayat? Firstly we'll be coming to this, then we'll be again coming to the Basavana. Okay, so he is the founder of the Lingayat. Lingayat किस चीजों पे believe करते हैं? Basically Lingayat are believing in the Lingang yoga, that is the unification or you can say unity with Shiva. Unity with Shiva. They will be saying that after the death we will be united with the Shiva, and they will be wearing a East Ling. Wearing East Linga. East Linga. Okay. Lingayat में they will be focusing on the social reform. So basically they will be opposing. They opposed caste hierarchy. So they oppose the caste hierarchy. They also opposed child marriage. ये सिंपल से पॉइंट है. ठीक है, तो बेसिकली आपको याद रखना है कि बेसिकली व्हाट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, यू हैव टू रिमेंबर कि दे विल बी फोकसिंग ऑन सोशल रिफॉर्म. इन द लिंगायत दे विल बी ऑल्सो सपोर्टिंग विडो मैरिज. सपोर्टेड विडो remarriage. Okay, widow remarriage. Lingayat doesn't believe in rebirth. rebirth मानते हैं तो हम बोलेंगे नहीं. क्यों नहीं मानते? It is the first point that will be giving you this idea. If they will be believing that after the death they will be united with the Shiva, then there is no meaning of the rebirth. Okay, even Lingayat क्या बोलेंगे? That there is no need of idol worship. There is no idol worship. Idol का मतलब है यहाँ पे anthropomorphic form of the Shiva. They will not be believing in the worshipping of the anthropomorphic of the Shiva, जिसमें आपने देखा होगा Shiva will be wearing the snake, है ना. So वो वाले जो आपके शिवा है, ह्यूमन फॉर्म में जो शिवा है, anthropomorphic का मतलब है the Shiva in the human form, that is not worship, that is not believed by the Lingayat. So no idol worship, and even they will not be believing in the temples. ठीक है, क्योंकि जब आइडल ही नहीं है तो उस तरीके से टेम्पल्स वगैरह की भी जरूरत नहीं. प्लस दे विल बी सेइंग दे विल बरी डेड्स. ओके, सो इनके जो डेड, द पर्टिकुलर पर्सन, इफ अ पर्सन हु विल बी फॉलोइंग द लिंगायत, if the death will be there, they are not going to follow the cremation process that is there in the Vedic system. Okay, so what they will be following? They will be following to bury the dead. Okay, तो वो डेड को क्या करेंगे? बरी करेंगे. ठीक है, तो ये चीजें हैं जो आपको लिंगायत से रिलेटेड याद रखनी है. ठीक है. द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज, हमने देखा था कि ये 12th सेंचुरी हो गए, फाउंडर ऑफ द लिंगायत हो गए. और क्या इंफॉर्मेशन है बसावना के बारे में? सो बसावना ने लिंगायत दिया, ये हमने पढ़ लिया, ये भी उसी से रिलेटेड हो गया. और क्या है, किसके रूलरशिप में बेसिकली, किसके टाइम पे ये फ्लरिश कर रहे थे? बेसिकली इट इज ड्यूरिंग बिज्जला 2 और किंग बिज्जला. Okay, who is the King Bijjala? King Bijjala is ruling in the, you can say, the Carnatic region. He belongs to the Kalchuri dynasty, but earlier he was the vassal, or you can say the kind of the feudatory of the Chalukya. क्योंकि कर्नाटक रीजन में कौन रूल कर रहे थे? ज्यादा रूल किसने किया? चालुक्याज ने. सो इन द 12th century from the 1130 to 1167 the King Bijjala will be ruling and he belongs to the Kalchuri dynasty. ठीक है, but he was the vassal of, earlier he was the vassal of the Chalukyas. ठीक है, तो ये हो गया इंफॉर्मेशन. प्लस बसावना हैज ऑल्सो गिवन, एक तो कायकाव कैलाशा वाला उन्होंने कॉन्सेप्ट दिया है. देन ही हैज डिस्कस सम वचनाज, उस वचना को लोगों ने फॉलो किया और जिन्होंने फॉलो किया उन्हें बोलते हैं शरनाज. ठीक है, एंड शरनाज विल बी द मेंबर्स और द सिटीजन ऑफ द वेलफेयर स्टेट. तो अगर वेलफेयर स्टेट का कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया, इसका मतलब दिस कॉन्सेप्ट मस्ट बी गिवन बाय समवन. किसने दिया है ये वेलफेयर स्टेट कॉन्सेप्ट? बसावना ने. एंड बसावना किसके बारे में बात करते हैं? कल्याण राज्य. सो कल्याण राज्य का मतलब है वेलफेयर स्टेट. ही विल बी डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द कायकेव कैलाशा. ठीक है, देन ही विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द दशोहा. और दशोहा का मतलब क्या है? द इक्वल pay for the equal work. So these kind of the concept have been you can say discussed by the Basavana, and even the Basavana will be setting up a Anubhav Mantapa. अनुभव मंटपा क्या है? दैट इज द फर्स्ट एंड द फोरमोस्ट पार्लियामेंट इन इंडिया. ठीक है, और उसमें जो आपके शरनाज होंगे, शरनाज का मतलब है द सिटीजन ऑफ द वेलफेयर स्टेट, दे विल बी डिस्कसिंग द थिंग्स. ओके, सो ही हैज ऑल्सो एस्टैब्लिश्ड द अनुभव मंटपा. So this is the information that you have to remember. अब आप इससे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करोगे. So Basavana was a social reformer related to Lingayat religion. That means this statement is correct. He was against the caste hierarchy and the notion of the pollution. तो correct है. Caste hierarchy मतलब pollution वाला concept आएगा. He became the minister under the reign of the Hoysalas. Then you will say no. Okay. Then Kaikev Kailasha, which means karma is the worship, was said by the Basavana. Yes, it is mentioned in the president speech also. So this thing you have to remember. इसका मतलब आंसर क्या पूछा था? Not. That means the answer is C. Answer is C. Now the next question is, which one of the following is the main theme of the Uttara Merur inscription which was often mentioned in the news? इसका मतलब है उत्तरा मेरूर न्यूज में है. अब बात आती है न्यूज में क्यों है. So again PM नरेंद्र मोदी जी मेंशन अबाउट द उत्तरा मेरूर इंस्क्रिप्शन. इंफॉर्मेशन क्या याद रखनी है उत्तरा मेरूर? इन्होंने मेंशन अगर किया है, सो व्हाट आर द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर रिगार्डिंग द उत्तरा मेरूर इंस्क्रिप्शन? फर्स्टली, इट इज ऑफ द परंतक वन. सो देयर इज अ रूलर नेम परंतक वन एंड ही बिलोंग्स टू द चोला डायनेस्टी. चोला. ओके, उसके बारे में यहां पे मेंशन है. व्हाट इज द थीम ऑफ द उत्तरा मेरूर? सो जनरली द मेजर थीम ऑफ द उत्तरा मेरूर इंस्क्रिप्शन इज लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नेंस. दैट इज द मेजर थीम. यहां पे एक सभा बनाई जाएगी, सभा जिसमें 30 या बेसिकली यू कैन से द सम मेंबर्स विल बी देयर, एंड there are also the mention, you will find it very, you can say कि it is very evolved system of the local self governance, and they will be also mentioning the qualification of a member, कि what a member will be having these kind of the qualification, and then there are also the things that have been mentioned as a disqualification procedure of a particular member. ठीक है, so यानी कि यहाँ पे इन्होंने qualification भी दिया है कि qualification क्या है, what should be the qualification, okay, like क्वालिफिकेशन लाइक ये बोलेंगे कि अ पर्सन एज शुड बी 30 टू ऑलमोस्ट यू कैन से द 70 ईयर्स, दैट इज द एज. ही शुड हैव द सम यू कैन से द लैंड ओनरशिप. Okay, basically they will be talking about the house. He should have the house, then he should have the information about the Vedas, because at that time कोई formal education तो है नहीं, so Veda will be the source of the education. Yeah, basically the person should be educated. Even they will be saying that the land ownership can be revoked if a person is having a knowledge about one Ved plus 4 Bhashya. So this can be revoked if the one Veda and the 4 Bhashya knowledge is there. Then they will be also talking about the disqualification. What are the parameter of the disqualification? तो कुछ है जैसे if आपने अकाउंट के बारे में नहीं बताया तो द पर्सन और उसके फैमिली मेंबर्स को both all can be you can say disqualified from this particular local self governance. फर्स्ट पॉइंट क्या होगा? फर्स्ट है आपने अपनी ओनरशिप के बारे में नहीं बताया या आपने अकाउंट्स के बारे में नहीं बताया. सो देयर आर द नो प्रॉपर डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ अकाउंट. ये पहला है. ठीक है. सेकेंड, इफ यू आर डूइंग सम काइंड ऑफ द सिंस में क्या हो सकता है? लाइक थेफ्ट. ठीक है. एल्कोहल, this is also there. Okay, alcohol, you are consuming the alcohol, you are involved in the adultery, you have the relation with the you can say the outcast. ठीक है. तो इस तरीके की चीजें अगर आप देखोगे these kind of things have been also mentioned. ठीक है. तो ये सारी चीजें हैं जिससे आपका और भी चीजें उसमें डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन भी आपका हो सकता है. तो ये आपके पैरामीटर हो गए. तो उत्तरा मेरूर इंस्क्रिप्शन इज जनरली टॉकिंग अबाउट किसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है? इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द लोकल सेल्फ गवर्नेंस. यू कैन से इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ द डेमोक्रेटिक. हालांकि इसको लेकर डिबेट है, बिकॉज इफ यू हैव मेंशन अबाउट द यू कैन से द क्वालिफिकेशन एंड ऑल दोस थिंग लाइक द land ownership and all those things, not just the year basically, then it is not a proper democratic system. Okay, because not everyone will have the right, only the few person will have a right to become the member of a sabha as per the Uttara Meru inscription. This is the Cholas governorship system. Okay, point समझ में आ गया. अब इसका ब्रह्मदेया से कोई मतलब नहीं है. जनरली फेमिन रिलीफ अगर आप देखोगे, this thing has been mentioned in the Sohagura copper plate. Sohagura copper plate. Okay, and this is the earliest known copper inscription, and it is believed it belongs to the Chandragupta Maurya. And in this inscription there is a mention about the famine relief, particular grains from a surplus state, it will be transferred to the state that will be facing the issue of the you can say the famine. ओके, तो ये आपका मेंशन है वहां पे. सोहागुरा कहां पर है? गोरखपुर के आसपास. ठीक है. देन रिपेयर ऑफ द सुदर्शन लेक, एंड दिस इंफॉर्मेशन वाज मेनली देयर इन द गिरनार inscriptions. Girnar inscription. And Girnar inscription belongs to Rudra Daman 1. Rudra Daman 1 of Western Satrapas. Western Satrapas. टाइम पीरियड क्या है आपका? टाइम पीरियड इज रफली 130 to 150 AD. लैंग्वेज इज संस्कृत. ओके, एंड इट इज गिविंग द इंफॉर्मेशन. गिरनार इंस्क्रिप्शन गिविंग इंफॉर्मेशन. रुद्रदमन ने लिखा है. क्या लिखा है? दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर सुदर्शन लेक वाज बिल्ट बाय और कंस्ट्रक्टेड बाय पुष्यगुप्ता. ठीक है. और ये पुष्यगुप्ता कौन है? ही इज द गवर्नर ऑफ चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य. ठीक है. तो ये गिरनार इंस्क्रिप्शन है. अभी गिरनार इंस्क्रिप्शन या जो गिरनार जो रॉक है बेसिकली, इस पे 3 इंस्क्रिप्शन है. वन इज ऑफ द अशोकाज रॉक इंस्क्रिप्शन. ठीक है. तो जो 14 जो मेजर रॉक इंस्क्रिप्शन है उसमें से एक मेजर रॉक इंस्क्रिप्शन कहां पर है? गिरनार में, इसी रॉक पे, सेम. ओके, देन देयर इज अ इंस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ द रुद्रदमन वन, एंड देन द अदर इंस्क्रिप्शन इज आल्सो देयर, एंड दैट इज ऑफ द स्कंदगुप्ता. स्कंदगुप्ता इज अ रूलर that will be ruling in the 5th century के आसपास. अगर आप देखोगे, he will be ruling and Gupta empire. स्कंदगुप्ता का एक गवर्नर है, that is परन दत्ता, and परन दत्ता will be again repairing the सुदर्शन लेक. पॉइंट समझ में आ गया होगा आई थिंक. ठीक है, तो ये भी आपका आंसर नहीं हो सकता. दिस कैन नॉट बी योर आंसर, दिस कैन नॉट बी योर आंसर. तो रिमेनिंग विल बी द डी, दैट इज द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ द डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टिसिपेशन इज द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट इज देयर इन द उत्तरामेरूर इंस्क्रिप्शन. इसमें कुछ चीजें और भी याद रखो, जैसे ब्रह्मदया आया है, तो ब्रह्मदया का मतलब क्या है? द लैंड गिवन टू द ब्रह्म, बेसिकली दे, ब्रह्म को दे दिया, यानी कि ब्राह्मण को दे दी. सो बेसिकली लैंड गिवन टू और डोनेटेड टू, लैंड गिवन टू ब्राह्मण्स. ओके, अब लैंड जो डोनेट करते हो, इसमें इसी सेम लैंड को और भी वर्ड बोलते हैं, जैसे द लैंड गिवन टू द ब्राह्मण इज ऑल्सो नोन एज द अग्रहारा. अग्रहारा. ओके, सो दिस इज अगेन द सेटलमेंट्स ऑफ द ब्राह्मण. तो या तो ये बोलेंगे ब्रह्मदया, अग्रहारा, और देयर इज अनदर वर्ड दैट कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर दिस इज चतुर्वेदी मंगलम. चतुर्वेदी मंगलम. ठीक है, तो साउथ में दिस वर्ड कैन बी मेंशन, चतुर्वेदी मंगलम. इसका भी मतलब क्या है? द पर्टिकुलर प्लेस वेयर द पर्सन will be living who have the knowledge about the Veda. चतुर्वेद, चतुर्वेदी. चतुर्वेदी क्या होता है? The particular person who will be aware of 4 Vedas. ठीक है, who have the knowledge about the 4 Vedas. उनका जो प्लेस होगा वहां पे जो रह रहे हैं उसको क्या बोलेंगे? चतुर्वेदी मंगलम. सो अग्रहारा, चतुर्वेदी मंगलम. और ऑन द सेम लाइन, या इसी को आप इनडायरेक्टली क्या बोल सकते हो? इट वॉज द मेजर सेंटर ऑफ द एजुकेशन. क्योंकि ब्राह्मण्स की ड्यूटी क्या थी? व्हाट वाज द ड्यूटी ऑफ द ब्राह्मण? यहां से सिस्टम स्टार्ट हुआ है जब हम वैदिक सिस्टम की बात करते हैं. सो वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय, वैश्य, शूद्र, ऑल विल हैव ड्यूटीज. ओके, सो ड्यूटी में ब्राह्मण की ड्यूटी क्या है? टू गिव द एजुकेशन. ठीक है, पढ़ना और पढ़ाना. पॉइंट समझ में आ गया? दैट वाज द ड्यूटी. सो दिस वाज आल्सो द चतुर्वेदी मंगलम. तो इन चीजों को भी याद रखना. ठीक है, आई होप इतनी इंफॉर्मेशन आपके लिए काफी है. हो सकता है इसमें से कोई क्वेश्चन आपको डायरेक्टली मिले. नाउ द 55th क्वेश्चन विद रेफरेंस टू द इंडियन फिलोसोफर Adi Shankaracharya, consider the following statement. Okay, now Adi Shankaracharya के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन आपको याद रखनी है कि he belongs to the 8th century AD. Okay, then Adi Shankaracharya is a person who has done some commentaries on compilation of उपनिषद. ये जो कंपाइलेशन ऑफ उपनिषद है, ठीक है, इसी को हम बोलते हैं ब्रह्म सूत्र. दिस इज नोन एज ब्रह्म सूत्र. तो ब्रह्म सूत्र का कंपाइलेशन क्या इन्होंने किया है? नहीं. ब्रह्म सूत्र कंपाइलेशन वॉज नॉट डन बाय द शंकराचार्य, रेदर द ब्रह्म सूत्र कंपाइलेशन वॉज डन बाय Badrayan. Okay, some people say that the Badrayan is none other than the Ved Vyas. Ved Vyas is the person who has done, or the Badrayan is the person as per the some belief system, not all. So they will be saying Badrayan is the Ved Vyas. He has done some compilation of the Upanishad that will be known as the Brahma Sutra, and then Shankaracharya will be having the commentaries on the Brahma Sutra, and these commentaries will be giving the philosophy of Shankaracharya, and this philosophy is known as Advaitavad. It is known as Advaitavad. Advaitavad, या इसी को हम बोल देते हैं नॉन डुअलिज्म. नॉन डुअलिज्म, Advaitavad, that means there is no द्वैत. अद्वैत, नॉन डुअलिज्म, देयर इज नो डुअलिज्म. डुअलिज्म किस चीज का होता है? बिकॉज देयर इन दिस वर्ड देयर कैन बी अ डुअलिज्म. हम ये मान सकते हैं कि हम हैं, हम ये मान सकते हैं कि गॉड है. तो हमारे और गॉड में कोई डुअलिज्म नहीं है. वी एज अ पर्सन विल बी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द अदर पर्सन. लेट्स से मैं राहुल हूँ, कोई और भी होगा, तो हम दोनों के बीच में क्या कोई डिफरेंस है? तो ये बोलना है कि नहीं, उस बीच में भी कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. देन देयर विल बी द थिंग्स लाइक आई एम होल्डिंग दिस, यू कैन से मैं इसको भी होल्ड कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है, क्लियर है, दैट इज द यू कैन से द, जिससे हम स्लाइड मूव करेंगे. देन देयर इज अ थिंग दैट इज द पेन. ओके, नाउ दीज टू थिंग्स आर डिफरेंट. Okay, maybe the matter that has been used is also different, so there can be a difference between the matter and matter. What Shankaracharya will be saying, ये भी कोई difference नहीं है. Ultimately ये बोलेंगे there is a non-dualism, बोलेंगे this world is a myth, बोलेंगे ब्रह्म सत्यम जगत मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैवनापरा, ब्रह्म is the ultimate truth, this world is a myth, जीवो ब्रह्मैवनापरा, जीव the soul is nothing else than the ब्रह्म. तो अल्टीमेटली किसकी बात करते हैं? ब्रह्म की बात करते हैं, एक पावर की बात करते हैं, बोलते हैं एक ब्रह्म है, एंड वो जो ब्रह्म है दैट इज अ फॉर्मलेस एंटिटी. ओके, सो अद्वैतवाद में ये बोलेंगे देयर इज अ फॉर्मलेस ब्रह्म, फॉर्मलेस ब्रह्म, ब्रह्म. और बोलते हैं इसकी नॉलेज कैसे मिलेगी? जिस दिन उसको इसकी नॉलेज आपको मिल जाएगी, एज सून एज यू विल बी गेटिंग द नॉलेज अबाउट दिस फॉर्मलेस ब्रह्म. मैं बहुत ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर रहा हूं फिलॉसफी, क्योंकि इसमें कोई मतलब नहीं है, बट अगर इसमें आता है इतने में क्वेश्चन आपका सॉल्व हो जाएगा. अद्वैतवाद किसकी बात करता है? फॉर्मलेस ब्रह्म. बोलेगा अल्टीमेटली फॉर्मलेस ब्रह्म विल बी देयर, दिस वर्ड इज अ मिथ, ये वर्ड नहीं है, ये वर्ड आपको दिख रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ द इल्यूजन, दैट इज माया, दैट इज माया, उसकी वजह से वर्ड दिख रहा है, दिस वर्ड विल नॉट बी देयर. और जो हम है, हम और जीव जो ब्रह्म है, उसमें कोई अंतर नहीं है, हम ही क्या है, एक तरीके से ब्रह्म है. और ये नॉलेज आप ये कैसे मिलेगी आपको? थ्रू द नॉलेज. दिस इंफॉर्मेशन यू विल बी, the information will be coming through knowledge, through knowledge, knowledge. और जब ये knowledge के थ्रू मिलेगी, that means knowledge is source of salvation, source of salvation. और knowledge कौन देगा आपको? knowledge will be given by guru. तो एक नॉलेज है जो नॉलेज आपको देगा गुरु, और जब गुरु के पास आप जाओगे कि व्हाट इज द ब्रह्म, व्हाट इज हमारी एंटिटी क्या है, व्हाट ब्रह्म क्या, तो गुरु क्या बोलेगा? गुरु विल बी सेइंग तत्वमसि, गुरु विल बी सेइंग तत्वमसि, तत्वमसि. दिस वर्ड इज टेकन फ्रॉम द छांदोग्य उपनिषद. छांदोग्य उपनिषद, ये शायद मैंने लास्ट टाइम डिस्कस किया था, लास्ट अगर डिस्कशन देखोगे, छांदोग्य उपनिषद, तत्वमसि वो तुम ही हो. ये क्या बोल रहा है? वो तुम ही हो जिसको तुम ढूंढ रहे हो, दैट आर यू, द पर्सन, द गॉड दैट यू आर सर्चिंग इज यू. एंड देन यू विल से अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, अहम ब्रह्मास्मि. तो दिस अहम ब्रह्मास्मि हैज बीन टेकन फ्रॉम बृहद्रनायक उपनिषद. ठीक है, तो इस पॉइंट को भी याद रखना, क्या पता ये पूछ ले यूपीएससी. तो ये सारी चीजें जो आपको शंकराचार्य में याद रखनी है. अब इससे क्वेश्चन देखो सॉल्व हो रहा है. ही वॉज द फाउंडर ऑफ विशिष्ट अद्वैता, नो, अद्वैत के ही है. विशिष्ट अद्वैत किसने दी है? रामानुज में. विशिष्ट अद्वैत वॉज द फिलोसफी ऑफ रामानुज, दैट वॉज द, और ये क्वेश्चन पूछ चुका है यूपीएससी. विशिष्ट अद्वैत में रामानुज विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द भक्ति फॉर द सैल्वेशन. दिस वाज द क्वेश्चन ऑफ लास्ट ईयर, सो दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट. सेकंड, ही रोट द कमेंट्रीज ऑन द ब्रह्मसूत्र, द प्रिंसिपल उपनिषदास. ब्रह्मसूत्र का मतलब है द प्रिंसिपल उपनिषद, उनका कंपाइलेशन है बेसिकली. सो द आंसर इज बी, दैट इज 2 ओनली. ठीक है, तो ये सारी चीजें, दीज थिंग्स यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. देन द लास्ट क्वेश्चन, कंसीडर द फॉलोइंग प्लेसेस एसोसिएटेड with UNESCO cultural heritage. Places, Hampi. So Hampi is on the Tungabhadra river. Okay, तो ये जो तुंगभद्रा रिवर है, it is on the तुंगभद्रा रिवर. हम्पी साइट है जो जनरली किससे फेमस है? विजयनगर एम्पायर, विजयनगर. ठीक है, अब यहां पे बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, जैसे इट इज वेरी फेमस टू हैव द विरूपाक्ष टेम्पल, इट इज वेरी फेमस टू हैव विठल स्वामी टेम्पल. विठल स्वामी टेम्पल विल इज फेमस टू हैव द रंग मंडपा. इन दैट रंग मंडपा देयर इज अ 56 म्यूजिकल पिलर्स. सो व्हेन विल बी टैपिंग द पिलर्स, देयर विल बी द म्यूजिक विल बी कमिंग. तो 56 म्यूजिकल पिलर दैट इज देयर इन द हम्पी. तो ये भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है, कहां पर है? तो विजय विठला टेम्पल. Vijay Vittala temple was started, you can say major construction is done by the Devaraya II, and the final work you can say that was done by the Krishnadeva Rai, that is very famous. ठीक है, और विजयनगर में डिफरेंट डायनेस्टी हैं, सुलवा, तुलवा, ठीक है, ये सब डायनेस्टी हैं उसमें, वो आपको याद रखनी है. तो विजयनगर इज ऑल्सो अ फेवरेट टॉपिक ऑफ यूपीएससी, फेवरेट टॉपिक ऑफ यूपीएससी. सो हम्पी मालप्रभा पे नहीं है, हम्पी किस पे है? तुंगभद्रा पे. Okay. Then Pattadakal, this is also in the Karnataka, and ये site generally किसको belong करती है? चालुक्यास को. Why this is famous? To have the both Nagar and Dravid temple, both Nagar plus Dravid architecture. So Nagar architecture क्या था? आप लोगों को पता होगा. Nagar is the architecture that flourished in the North India, while the Dravid is the main architecture that flourished in the South India, basically in the Tamil Nadu and all those regions. ठीक है? And in the Pattadakal, both Nagar and Dravid temple will be there. In the Pattadakal also there is a temple named Virupaksh. Virupaksh मतलब शिव का एक फॉर्म है. और this temple was built by the Queen Loka Mahadevi. Queen Loka Mahadevi यानी विरूपाक्ष टेम्पल भी है. एक जैसे आपने हम्पी में भी देख लिया, एक पट्टाडकल में भी देख लिया. ठीक है. सो पट्टाडकल इज अ साइट, यूनेस्को साइट है, एंड यूनेस्को साइट में इट इज रिमेंबर्ड एज अ प्लेस वेयर द बोथ ऑल द काइंड ऑफ द मेजर आर्किटेक्चरल स्टाइल आर देयर, बेसिकली बोथ द नागर एंड द द्रविड़. ओके. और ये किस रिवर पे है? मालप्रभा रिवर पे. दिस इज ऑन द मालप्रभा रिवर. ठीक है. यानी कि ये नीदर वन मैच करेक्टली, नीदर नॉर टू मैच करेक्टली. ठीक है. थर्ड देख लेते हैं, थंजावुर, एंड थंजावुर इज ऑन द कावेरी. सो दिस इज फाइन. थंजावुर कहां पर है? तमिलनाडु में, एंड तमिलनाडु में कावेरी रिवर. एंड थंजावुर फेमस है किसके लिए? बृहदेश्वर टेम्पल. बृहदेश्वर टेम्पल, बृहदेश्वर टेम्पल. सो इट वॉज इन ऑल्सो इन न्यूज. एंड बृहदेश्वर टेम्पल वॉज बिल्ड बाई राजराजा वन इन 11th सेंचुरी, स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द 11th सेंचुरी. टेम्पल में क्या क्या इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है? टेम्पल में ग्रेनाइट यूज हुआ है, ग्रेनाइट. ओके. एंड राजा इज द पोनियन सेल्वन वन. तो पोनियन सेल्वन वन नहीं, पोनियन सेल्वन. ठीक है. सो ये आपने देखा था मूवी, तो मूवी की वजह से भी ये क्या था? न्यूज में था. ठीक है. सो हो सकता है बृहदेश्वर टेम्पल पे कुछ आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछे. ठीक है. सो दिस वॉज बिल्ट बाई द राजा वन, देन 11th सेंचुरी, ग्रेनाइट, ये सब चीजें हैं. ठीक है. तंजावुर करेक्ट मैच करता है. सो दिस इज करेक्ट, दिस इज इनकरेक्ट. सो ओनली वन पेयर इज करेक्ट. आंसर विल बी बी. आंसर विल बी बी. सो दीज आर द क्वेश्चन. होपफुली आपका अनुभव अच्छा गया होगा अनुभव के साथ, और अनुभव आपका अच्छा रहेगा यूपीएससी में 28 ऑफ मे को. सो ऑल द बेस्ट. और बाकी 28 मे को घबराने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. फ्री होके पढ़ो, और जितनी चीज़ें पढ़ी बस उसको रिवाइज करो. थैंक यू.
So today we are going to discuss the questions which have been asked in the test. I'll be taking up the IR questions. So let us look at the questions. The question is, with reference to the International Criminal Court, consider the following statements. The question has been asked because ICC has issued a arrest warrant against President Putin. So with reference to the International Criminal Court, consider the following statements. Number one, ICC can only investigate and not try individuals charged with grave crimes. Number two, the Rome Statute is the founding treaty of the ICC. Number three, the use of armed forces by a state against the sovereignty, integrity or independence of another state is a crime under ICC's jurisdiction. So when we look at statement number one, ICC can only investigate and not try. So this not word this not word is something which is not correct. This not word is something which is making the statement incorrect. It is partially correct. ICC can only investigate and not try. It can investigate and also it can try. Wherever it is necessary, it can try also. So this statement is wrong. Then the Rome Statute is the founding treaty of the ICCE. Of course, the Rome Statute is the founding treaty of the ICCE. And when we look at the third option, the use of armed forces by a state against the sovereignty, integrity or independence of another state is a crime under ICC's jurisdiction. Yes, any form of deterrence against sovereignty, integrity, it's a crime. So statement 3 is also correct. So how many statements given above are correct? None of the statements, only one statement, only two statements, all the three statements. So we have 1 wrong, 2 and 3 are correct. So only 2 statements. C is the right answer to this. Now let us move on to the next question. With reference to the International Maritime Organization, IMO, Which of the following statements is or are correct? So it is not a specialized agency of the United Nations and has been established through the convention. Number 2, the contribution to the budget is primarily shared in proportion to the size of each member state's fleet of merchant ships. It is not a specialized agency. This not word is wrong. This is very much a specialized agencies of the United Nations. So this not is making this statement incorrect. Now, the contribution to the budget is primarily shared in proportion to the size of each member state's fleet of merchant ships. This is something is very unique, and this is correct also. The bigger the size, the contribution to the budget would be more, because the more you are using the services, the more you are polluting the environment, more you are penalized for that. And not it's a penalization, but yes, you have to contribute more to the budget. So it is directly proportional to the size of the merchant ships. It's not about naval ships, it's only about merchant ships. So number 2 is correct. Now, select the correct answers using the code given below. 1 only, both 1 and 2, 2 only, neither 1 nor 2. So the correct answer is B. Only one statement is correct, that is number 2. Now, let us see the third question from IR. With reference to the Genocide Convention, consider the following statements. Under the convention, the countries are under the obligation to prevent genocide. India has been a party to the convention since its inception. With the ratification by Zambia in 2022, the convention has become an instrument of universal membership. And number 4, only the countries which have ratified the convention are bound by the principles of prohibition of genocide as a crime under international law. So number 1 statement, under the convention, the countries are under the obligation to prevent genocide. Of course, it's a genocide convention and it is to prevent genocide. So this is correct. India has been a party to the convention since its inception. See, India has played a very important role in its formulation, in its drafting, but India has ratified it in 59. So this convention has come up in 1948, but India has ratified it in 1959. So this is wrong. Now, with the ratification by Zambia in 2022, Zambia has ratified in 2022, the convention has become an instrument of universal membership. No, it is still not an instrument of universal membership because still 41 UN members are yet to ratify it. So it is still not an instrument of universal membership. So this is also wrong. Now, only the countries which have ratified the convention are bound by the principles of prohibition of genocide as a crime under international law. No, genocide is a crime under international law, whether you have ratified it or whether you have not ratified it. You cannot go for genocide by saying that we have not ratified it. So this is also wrong. How many statements given above are correct? Only one statement is correct, so the answer is A. Now, the last IR question. Consider the following statements with reference to the Republic of China, Taiwan, ROC. Taiwan is too much in the news for the last 1 year, so naturally the question is there. Treaty number 1, consider the following statement with reference to the Republic of China, Taiwan. Treaty of Shimonoseki made Taiwan under Japanese control until the end of World War II. Number 2, the Spanish established a base in Taiwan and ousted the Dutch in the 17th century. Then Oyashio warm water current traverses the water near Taiwan. So when you look at the history of Taiwan, the Treaty of Shimonoseki made Taiwan under Japanese control until the end of World War II. Yes, this was under the Japanese influence till 1945, and then ROC has come over here. Then आपका जो है civil war in 49, and then ROC has made it its seat of power. So the statement number 1 is correct. Statement number just statement number 1 is correct. The Treaty of Shimonoseki made Taiwan under Japanese control until the end of World War II. Yes, it is correct. Now, the Spanish established a base in Taiwan and ousted the Dutch in the 17th century. It is a reverse thing. Basically, आपका जो है, the Dutch East India Company, they have established a base, and rather than being ousted by Spanish, they have ousted the Spanish from Taiwan. So this is wrong. This is wrong. It is the Dutch who have ousted, rather than it is oust, they have ousted the Dutch. And Oyashio warm current, it is not Oyashio. अगर आप ताइवान में देखोगे, it is your Kuroshio. Oyashio is wrong. It is Kuroshio. Kuroshio current traverses the waters near Taiwan. So, which of the following statements given above is or are correct? Only one statement is correct, that is number 1. So, the answer automatically is A. Thank you.
Hello everyone. So we meet again with few other questions from the Anubhav test 2. I hope you found these questions very easy like last time, and I hope you are all having a great day after giving the Anubhav, and you people will be passing out with the flying colors in your coming prelims. So this will be our last discussion of the paper, I think, for this year, and then we will meet again on 28th of May. So let's start the discussion without wasting any more time. So this is the first question that I will be dealing with. Which of the following may be covered under the right to repair framework? अगेन जैसा कि मैं पिछली बार बता रहा था कि जब हम ऐसे क्वेश्चंस को देखते हैं तो ऑब्वियसली आपको कुछ जेनरिक चीज़ों को समझना है. राइट टू रिपेयर हैज़ बीन ब्रॉट इन इंडिया. सर किसके अंदर लेके आए हैं हम? अंडर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स. किसके अंदर? मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स के अंदर. राइट, सो वी हैव ब्रॉट दिस अंडर मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स. दिस इज नॉट अ न्यू कंसेप्ट. इनफैक्ट इंडिया में अभी लेके आया गया है, बट बाहर की कंट्रीज़ में, यूरोपियन, यूएस नेशंस में, वेस्टर्न नेशंस में काफ़ी टाइम से इसके ऊपर डिस्कशन चल रहा है, वहाँ पे लेके भी आ चुके हैं. नाउ इफ़ यू सी सर, इन इंडिया वी ऑल हैव राइट टू रिपेयर. हमारे तो यहीं पे पास में गफ्फार मार्केट है. इफ़ यू पीपल आर लिविंग इन ORN, सो आपसे बेटर तो कोई नहीं जानता होगा कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स को रिपेयर कराने के लिए लाइक वी कैन गेट इट रिपेयर्ड एनीवेयर. सिमिलर इज द कंसेप्ट और द केस विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ऑटोमोबाइल. राइट, अगेन वी हैव द करोल बाग मार्केट ओवर हेयर, जो कि पूरी एक ऑटोमोबाइल मार्केट है. राइट, सो वी हैव दैट. But what was happening? It was not legalized, or it was not, the companies are not bounded, right? The manufacturing companies or OEMs which are supplying your original equipment manufacturings, they are not bounded to provide the parts to these local vendors. Now they will be bounded, right? Now they will be bounded to provide these parts, plus to provide the proper modules or how to repair these objects. Even if you can repair it at your home, you don't need to visit a shop. If it's something which you can repair, and you can order those parts, or you can get them from the main company or the showrooms or the service centers, you can purchase the parts. So these kind of facilities has been provided under this. It is basically, if you understand, the focus is on environment, to decrease e-waste or waste in general, to have a sustainable environment, and the focus is on circular economy. जहाँ पे हम recycle, reuse की बात करते हैं, refurbished की बात करते हैं, the focus is on that. So that कि if you have bought any appliance, चाहे वो फार्मिंग इक्विपमेंट हो, चाहे वो डेटा स्टोरेज कंपोनेंट हो, चाहे वो कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स हों जैसे कि आपकी वॉशिंग मशीन, एसीज, फैंस, चाहे वो ऑटोमोबाइल इक्विपमेंट्स हों, यू कैन गेट देम रिप्लेस्ड, गेट देम रिपेयर्ड. अभी आपने देखा होगा लाइक मैनी कंपनीज डू दिस. व्हेन यू गो टू देयर सर्विस सेंटर, दे डोंट रिपेयर इट, दे से सर रिप्लेस होगा. Right, they replace all the part and not repair it. Now they have to provide the schematic diagrams and how this has been manufactured and what kind of flaws that can come and where you have to repair. So you will get all these informations. So these are all 4 are correct, and the correct option would be D. अब यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे तो बहुत ही जेनरिक सी चीज़ें हैं जो आज की डेट में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है हम कंज्यूमर्स के लिए. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स के अंदर है ये. फार्मिंग इक्विपमेंट्स हो गए, राइट, आपके डेटा स्टोरेज कंपोनेंट्स हो गए, आपके कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स हो गए, जो भी हम इलेक्ट्रिकल अप्लायंसेज यूज कर रहे हैं, आपके ऑटोमोबाइल इक्विपमेंट्स हो गए. सो दीज आर ऑल पार्ट ऑफ योर राइट टू रिपेयर फ्रेमवर्क विच हैज कम अप, राइट. सो ऑल द ऑप्शंस आर करेक्ट. एंड आप लोगों को बहुत सारे लोगों ने ये बोला भी होगा कि इन जनरल जब ऐसी चीजें होती हैं तो उसमें सभी करेक्ट होता है, बट सिंस इट्स अ न्यू फ्रेमवर्क देयर माइट बी एन एक्सेप्शन, सो इट्स अ वेरी फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चन विच यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आपने पढ़ा होगा तो आपको पता होगा. Here you can see products to be covered under framework are farming equipment, mobile phones, tablet, consumer durables, automobile equipments. Company क्या क्या provide करेगी under this right to repair framework? They will provide complete knowledge and access to manuals, schematics, software updates, right? Which we were just discussing. Make parts and tools to the service devices. अब बहुत सारे पार्ट्स ऐसे होते हैं कि हम ओपन ही नहीं कर सकते उन्हें. वी डोंट हैव द स्पेसिफिक टूल्स जो उनके अंदर हमने सीलिंग इक्विपमेंट या नट्स यूज किए हैं. वी डोंट हैव द स्पेसिफिक काइंड ऑफ heads to open these tools. Now the company has to provide it no matter what, right? Make diagnostic tools available to the third party. So all these kind of things has to be done by the companies and the OEMs. That is something which has been additionally added. It has been made your right basically that you can repair your equipments instead of replacing them or buying new ones, right? Moving to the next question, again a very important question, that is basically the pair of tribes and the states to which they belong, and they are asking how many pairs are correct. Again, from the format of last year's UPSC exam, instead of asking which pair is correct, they are asking how many pairs are correct. So now if you see these pairs, all these tribes were in the news, and that's why they have been asked over here, right? So it basically increases your probability of getting it in the exam. Maybe not all the same, maybe few, maybe one, maybe two. तो अभी हम one by one इन्हें discuss करते हैं. First is your Riang, which is also referred as Bru tribe. If you guys remember, after 20 years now we have an accord for the Bru Riang tribe, and they majorly right now reside in Tripura, but they also belong to the areas of Assam and Mizoram. Sir, हैं कौन ये लोग? So Bru is a tribe which has migrated from Myanmar and they are considered as outsiders. उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ? They have been facing atrocities time and again in these states, क्योंकि वहाँ पे इन्हें हमेशा से outsiders माना गया, and they have been taken as कि they are taking their jobs of the people who are residing in those states. So they have been forced to live in camps. They have been forced and rescued, and now majority of them are residing in Tripura and few are there in Mizoram and Assam. Most of them has moved to Tripura because of the facility and shelters or the camps that have been provided by the governments over there. Now the question came that how to basically rehabilitate them, and for that we have the accord now where center and state governments are providing them money and houses and everything. So that is a very big event that has taken place. It took them around 20 years to basically get recognized, become a part of the state, and now they are saying that they will not be treated as outsiders or people will not do atrocities on them, right? So first is correct. यहाँ पे अगर आपका state दिया होता मिजोरम और असम, since they are asking predominant states, so Tripura is best suited. बट अगर मिजोरम और त्रिपुरा असम भी दिया जाता तो वो भी कहीं ना कहीं करेक्ट होता, वहाँ पे भी ये रिसाइड करते हैं और इसीलिए एग्रीमेंट में इन सब के साथ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट भी इन्वॉल्व थी. सेकेंड ट्राइब इज योर दिमासा ट्राइब विच हैज बीन मेंशन्ड एज उड़ीसा, विच इज रॉन्ग. इफ यू गाइज हैव बीन रीडिंग द न्यूज़पेपर इन लास्ट 10-15 days, आई होप दैट यू आर रीडिंग, ऑल्दो आई नो कि बहुत सारे लोगों ने बंद कर दिया होगा कि सर अब तक पेपर बन चुका है, नहीं पढ़ने की जरूरत है. But recently a tripartite agreement has been signed between DNLA, Dimasa Nationalist Liberation Army, DNLA, Assam government and the central government or the union government. The agreement has been signed. So it is in Assam. So DNLA was basically a rebellious group which was, now they have settled that they will drop their arms and they will follow the constitution of India. What they have been demanding in basically Dimasa is a region. If you see, it comes under the North Chachar Hill Autonomous Council, right? So it comes under the North Chachar Hill Autonomous Council. This region has been maintained as 6th scheduled area with the help of an autonomous council. But they have been demanding for a creation of autonomous state. Sir, autonomous state का क्या मतलब हुआ? So if you guys remember, there is Article 244A, which is specifically for Assam, where the power has been given for the creation of autonomous state. Autonomous state और 6th schedule में अगर मैं major difference की बात करूँ तो law and order will also be given to the people of this autonomous state. So it will be a state under Assam, right? What they have been demanding, and now they have created a council, they have created a welfare council, they have created a committee, and as per the para 6 of the schedule 6, which will look into the areas which lie in the states of again Mizoram and Meghalaya, जहाँ भी basically दिमासा लोग रहते हैं, दिमासा tribe के लोग रहते हैं. So basically to accumulate them and to see if more villages are required to be taken under this, right? So this is something which was in the news presently. काफी टाइम से न्यूज में था. इट्स अ रिबेलियस ग्रुप, वो कहीं ना कहीं अटैक करते रहते थे. नाउ दे हैव साइंड अ पीस अकॉर्ड. नाउ द थर्ड इज कोन्याक ट्राइब. कोन्याक ट्राइब, इफ यू हैव फॉलोड द नागालैंड इलेक्शंस, सिंस इलेक्शंस आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड टू बी फॉलोड, बट यहाँ पे एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज थी. दिस इज द वन ऑफ सेकंड लार्जेस्ट मेजर ट्राइब इन नागालैंड, एंड दे हैव बीन saying that they will boycott the elections of Nagaland. Why they have been boycotting the elections, जो कि अभी कंडक्ट हुए थे? So that they were demanding of bifurcation of Nagaland. Bifurcation of Nagaland, right? To create separate state and give one of the state to them. So Konyak tribe is in Nagaland, that is correct. Now coming to the fourth, that is Mishmi. Mishmi tribe is in Arunachal Pradesh. They are also in the news. Why they are in the news? Specifically, if I write, there are 3 sub-tribes in it. So Idu Mishmis are in the news. Why Idu Mishmis are in the news? Because these tribe has been opposing the conversion of Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary into a tiger reserve, right? So आपकी जो दिबांग वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी है उसे टाइगर रिजर्व में गवर्नमेंट कन्वर्ट करना चाह रही है, एंड दे हैव बीन अपोजिंग इट बिकॉज दे फील कि इनकी राइट्स कम हो जाएंगी इफ इट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू द टाइगर रिजर्व, एंड दैट इज व्हाई दे हैव बीन इन द न्यूज. So 3 pairs are correct and 1 pair is wrong, right? So the answer will be C. So the answer will be C, and all these were in the news, right? So you can see over here, this is the agreement or the peace accord that has been signed with the Brus over here. So some features have been written over here. Brus are the largest minority tribal groups in Mizoram, also lives in Assam and Tripura. An animist tribe which are now in the Hinduism's fold. Bru migrated from Shan state in Myanmar, right? These Mizos have always tagged Brus as outsiders. तो यहाँ पे इन्हें बहुत सारी प्रोविजंस दी गई हैं, पैसे दिए गए हैं, FDs कराई गई हैं. You can go through these in case there is a probability of a question in prelims with respect to what has been there in the outcome of that accord, right? त्रिपुरा में सबसे ज़्यादा हैं, फिर then followed by Mizoram and then Assam. Here you can see about the Dima Haso, that is the area or which is being maintained by these people. Dimasa tribe that is residing over here. Some portion of the Dimasa tribe also lives in the Karbi Anglong area, right? यहाँ पे आपको पता ही है KAC है आपकी Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council है जो which basically runs this. असम के अंदर बहुत सारी छोटी छोटी ट्राइब है. ऊपर हमने देखा कि बोडोलैंड का इशू था in which 4 districts have been added, और जो आपकी बोडोलैंड टेरिटोरियल एरिया काउंसिल थी उसे बोडोलैंड टेरिटोरियल रीजन बोल दिया गया है, और उसे रीडिफाइन किया गया है और रीड्रॉ किया गया है उसके बेसिकली एरिया को, एंड नाउ इट हैज बीन इंक्रीज्ड. 4 districts have been added to it, कोकराझार एंड अदर्स, राइट? सो दैट इज व्हाई इट वाज इन द न्यूज. सो ये भी आपको पता होगा तो इट वुड बी हेल्पफुल इन योर एग्जाम. सो बोडोलैंड इज देयर, Karbi Anglong is over there, then we have Dimasa Haso over here, then we have Tripura TAADC is there in the as a basically your developmental council over here, autonomous council. Then we have the Bodoland area over here. So we have discussed these topics. So you can go through this map and it will help you to identify that which area they belong to, right? Then Idu Mishmi tribes की अगर हम बात करें, these are one of the 3 Mishmi tribes found in Arunachal Pradesh, along with Digaru Mishmi and Miju Mishmi. The Idu Mishmi lives in the Dibang Valley and Lower Dibang Valley districts, right? So the Idu Mishmi originated in Tibet and later migrated to Arunachal Pradesh. They speak Tibeto-Burman language. In fact, they are called as the very close relatives of tigers. ये बहुत important है कि tiger reserve बनने से ये मना कर रहे हैं. But they are called as very close relatives of tiger. Not just tiger, but also your hillock gibbons, right? So they are very close relatives of these two. और ऐसा माना जाता है that Mishmis and tigers are born from the same mother, right? इतना close ये अपने आप को मानते हैं with respect to tiger, but still they were opposing creation of a Dibang tiger reserve over there, right? क्योंकि उन्हें लग रहा था कि उनकी rights कम हो जाएंगी उसकी वजह से, and that is why they were opposing, right? Moving to the next question. Again, a very important project, Bharatmala Pariyojana. राइट. भारतमाला परियोजना, इफ यू हैव सीन कि इसका बेसिकली जो टाइम पीरियड था, इट वाज started in 17, supposed to get over in 2022, but yet many projects have delayed, because of which the expenditure of this Bharatmala Pariyojana has extended a lot. Initially around 5.5 lakh crore rupees were allotted to it, and now the revised estimates that it will cost to complete this Pariyojana or this project is said to be around 12 to 13 lakh crore. So it has more than doubled. Right? Why it has doubled? Because of the delays. Delays क्यों आए? Because of the COVID-19 situation and the construction work that has stopped. So है क्या ये भारतमाला परियोजना? Before, if you look at the question, in Bharatmala Pariyojana, we are trying to develop roadways and highways, increasing the connectivity all over India, right? And basically, you can say it will be the part of your national logistic missions to or national logistic policy also, where we are planning कि जो हमारा logistics का expenditure है, which is at present around 14% of our GDP, it should decrease to 9% of our GDP. उसे decrease करने के लिए we need such kind of projects जहाँ पे हम expressways, highways, national highways, इन सब चीज़ों को, feeder roads, इन सबको construct कर रहे हैं, right? Including logistic parks, जिसमें जो कि आपको यहाँ पे second statement दिख रहा होगा, right? So first statement is in Bharatmala Pariyojana, the maximum number of projects are in hybrid annuity model. So आपने इकोनॉमी में पढ़े होंगे आपके हाइब्रिड एन्यूटी मॉडल HAM बोलते हैं, BOT मॉडल, योर बिल्ट ऑपरेट ट्रांसफर, देन योर EAC मॉडल्स. सो इसमें इन तीनों मॉडल्स का यूज किया गया है. 60% ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट्स आर इन हाइब्रिड एन्यूटी मॉडल, 10% आर इन BOT एंड 30% आर इन EAC. सर अब परसेंटेज क्यों बता रहे हैं? परसेंटेज इसलिए बता रहा हूं क्योंकि क्वेश्चन की स्टेटमेंट है कि मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स. सो इफ यू डोंट नो कि मैक्सिमम नंबर इसके अंदर है या नहीं है, यू नो कि इन तीनों के अंदर है, बट यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा और फैक्चुअली पूछा गया है कि मैक्सिमम किसके अंदर है. सो यस, दैट स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट कि HAM के अंदर ही मैक्सिमम प्रोजेक्ट्स है. सेकंड इज मल्टी मॉडल लॉजिस्टिक पार्क्स आर प्लान टू बी डेवलप्ड एज अ पार्ट ऑफ भारतमाला परियोजना, which is also correct. Around more than 30 or around 35 multimodal logistic parks are to be developed under this. So both the statements given over here are correct. So the answer would be C. Right? You can see the components over here. This was the initial draft जहाँ पे हमें 34,800 kilometers of roads to be constructed under Bharatmala Pariyojana. We have to construct 34,800 kilometers of road, including 10,000 kilometers of the remaining roads under National Highway Development Program. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इट इज़ नॉट सेपरेट. नाउ नेशनल हाईवे डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम का जो बचा हुआ था वो भी इसी के अंदर है, 10,000 किलोमीटर्स. एंड दीज आर द अदर 5 ingredients or 5 components which we have to develop. Right? You can look at over here also. इंटरनेशनल कनेक्टिविटी के लिए आपको रोड्स बनाने हैं, इंटर कॉरिडोर एंड फीडर रूट्स डेवलप करने हैं, इंप्रूवमेंट इन नेशनल कॉरिडोर्स, then new expressways develop करने हैं. They have mentioned the kilometers too if you want to go through. If you don't want to go through, that's also fine. Economic corridors develop करने हैं, 35 multi-modal logistic park develop करने हैं, 50 national corridors develop करने हैं, 34,800 kilometers of road, including that 10,000 kilometers of road under National Highway Development Program. Then 70 to 80% of fleet should move on highways. ऐसा इसका टारगेट रखा गया है. Right? So these are the components. Moving to the next question. Again, recently ये ज़्यादा न्यूज़ में है, although it's a policy from last year जो implement होना start हुई थी April 2022 में, but some of the portions are now getting implemented in 2023 and ये अभी first April से implement हुए हैं. So it was again in the news in the month of April. Now the question is basically it is about the scrappage policy, vehicle scrappage policy, उसी के बारे में है. वॉलेंट्री व्हीकल फ्लीट मॉडर्नाइजेशन प्रोग्राम VVMP जिसे हम बोल रहे हैं. अब यहाँ पे स्टेटमेंट्स बहुत सिंपल हैं, आपको बिल्कुल भी डिफिकल्टी नहीं होनी चाहिए इन्हें आइडेंटिफाई करने में कौन सी सही है और कौन सी गलत. एन एग्रीकल्चर ट्रैक्टर्स रजिस्ट्रेशन कैन बी रिन्यूड फॉर 5 years एट अ टाइम आफ्टर द एक्सपायरेशन ऑफ द इनिशियल रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ 15 years. सो ये आपके प्राइवेट व्हीकल्स, ये आपके व्हाट यू विल कॉल इट एग्रीकल्चरल व्हीकल्स, इन सब के लिए एप्लीकेबल है. राइट? सो दिस स्टेटमेंट विल बी correct. Now the second is it provides fitness test for personal vehicles after 15 years. Okay, fine. While for commercial vehicles the test is required after the completion of 20 years. अब आपको ये समझ आ जाना चाहिए कि यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है. सर ऑब्वियसली कॉमर्शियल व्हीकल्स के लिए टाइम कम होगा हमेशा और प्राइवेट व्हीकल्स के लिए टाइम हमेशा ज़्यादा होगा पर्सनल व्हीकल्स के लिए, राइट। सो यहाँ पे तो ये स्टेटमेंट आपको पढ़ के ही, अगर इनफैक्ट इफ यू डोंट इवन नो कि एक्चुअल फैक्ट क्या है, ये आपको पढ़ के ही समझ आ जाना चाहिए कि सर कॉमर्शियल के लिए 20 और पर्सनल व्हीकल के लिए 15, नो दैट कैन नॉट बी पॉसिबल। Obviously commercial vehicles are basically mostly run on diesel, more polluting, and they need to be tested more because they will run more on highways. They will, if we talk about the fitness of the vehicle, their fitness is supposed to get deteriorated, or if you talk about the depreciation of the vehicle, it will be more as in commercial vehicle as compared to personal vehicle. So ये statement आपकी गलत होगी, right? Now the answer given is B, sir. How it could be possible? Because बेटा यहाँ पे पूछा इन्होंने not correct. So when they are asking not correct, so answer would be B only, right? So these are some other incentives that will be provided under this, incentives and your incentives. So यहाँ पे आप incentivize भी कर रहे हैं कि you can scrap your older vehicles. यहाँ पे आप disincentivize भी कर रहे हैं कि अगर आप नहीं करेंगे, use करेंगे तो क्या क्या होगा, right? So these are some of the very important things can be asked in your prelims apart from the two statements that we have seen. So scrap value for the old vehicle given by the scrapping center approximately 4 to 6% of ex showroom price of new vehicle. अगर आप पुराने व्हीकल को स्क्रैप करा रहे हैं और कोई नया व्हीकल ले रहे हैं या फिर जो आपका एक्स शोरूम प्राइस है उस व्हीकल का, उसका 4 to 6% मिलेगा एज अ पार्ट ऑफ स्क्रैपेज कि आपने जो स्क्रैप कराया, राइट। सो एक मिनिमम अमाउंट फिक्स कर दिया कि आपको ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत कम पैसा जो अभी आप स्क्रैपेज जहाँ पे करा रहे हैं रजिस्टर्ड सेंटर्स पे बहुत कम पैसा मिले, ऐसा नहीं होगा। ड्राफ्ट रूल्स नोटिफाइड फॉर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स टू ऑफर कंसेशन ऑन मोटर व्हीकल टैक्स, जिसे आप लोग रोड टैक्स भी बोलते हैं, आरटीओ भी बोलते हैं। सो यहाँ पे नॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट व्हीकल जो आपके बेसिकली प्राइवेट व्हीकल्स हो गए, वहाँ पे 25% कंसेशन विल बी गिवन when you go for the registration of your new vehicle. If you have that old vehicle scrapped, you can provide them the receipt. They will give you 25% discount on the new vehicle registration, and if it's a transport vehicle then 15% discount, right? So discount भी यहाँ पे आप देखिए commercial और transport vehicle पे हमेशा कम है और private vehicle पे ज़्यादा है। Then registration fee to be waived off for purchase of new vehicle against the certificate of deposit draft notification issued. Auto OEMs have been advised to provide 5% discount on purchase of new vehicles against the certificate of deposit. So even जो आपका एक्स शोरूम प्राइस है उस पर भी आपको क्या मिलेगा, 5% का डिस्काउंट मिलेगा। 5% का डिस्काउंट मिलेगा, कौन देगा? वो आपके जो OEMs हैं वो प्रोवाइड करेंगे, आपके ओरिजिनल इक्विपमेंट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जो कंपनीज हैं। डिसइंटेंसिवाइज कैसे कर रहे हैं? इंक्रीज्ड फी फॉर फिटनेस टेस्ट एंड इशुएंस ऑफ फिटनेस सर्टिफिकेट फॉर कॉमर्शियल व्हीकल्स विच आर मोर देन 15 ईयर्स ओल्ड। सो यहाँ पे फिटनेस टेस्ट और फिटनेस टेस्ट सर्टिफिकेट की फी को इंक्रीज कर दिया गया ताकि आप फिटनेस टेस्ट ना लेने जाओ बल्कि उसे स्क्रैप करा के आप नया व्हीकल लेने जाओ। इंक्रीज्ड री रजिस्ट्रेशन फीस फॉर प्राइवेट व्हीकल्स विच आर मोर देन 15 ईयर्स ओल्ड। ड्राफ्ट नोटिफिकेशन इशूड फॉर हायर फीस ऑफ फिटनेस सर्टिफिकेट, फिटनेस टेस्ट एंड री रजिस्ट्रेशन, राइट। Even if you go for private vehicle re-registration after 15 years, then you have to pay them extra fees as compared to what you used to pay before, right? Moving to the next question. Again a very important topic which was basically started in 2019, Earth Ganga, जहाँ पे हमने बात की now we were trying to do Namami Gange mission was there which was trying to clean Ganga, right? But there they have now tried to bridge economy and people together with the Ganga mission so that they can have a economic benefits. People residing near Ganga can have a economic benefits if they are keeping the Ganga at a sustainable, if they are providing a sustainable environment, cleanliness near the Ganga region, right? And that is your Earth Ganga mission, right? Or Earth Ganga project. It has 6 components which I will just show you कि इसके अंदर 6 components क्या हैं, जहाँ से आप बेसिकली जो वहाँ के लोकल लोग हैं they will earn that livelihood or extra money, they will get economic benefits to keep Ganga clean, right? So the first statement is it is a sustainable viable economic model conceptualized under the Namami Gange program. So जो अभी मैंने बोला exactly वही लिखा हुआ है, so this is correct, generic statement है, and always whenever such generic statements are there they are correct, but इसमें एक factual चीज़ है कि आपको ये बस पता होना चाहिए कि Earth Ganga is under Namami Gange program, right? It includes zero budget natural farming and the reuse of treated wastewater. These are the 2 components out of those 6 components under Earth Ganga project. It envisages re-engineering the Jal Marg Vikas project by involving the local community. As I said कि वहाँ की local community को involve करना है. अब गंगा की बात की जा रही है, so obviously we have national waterway 1 over it, right? So on which this Jal Marg Vikas project is there. So this statement is also correct, right? So all the 3 statements are correct and the answer would be D over here. Now look at these 6 components of Earth Ganga. The first is zero budget natural farming. The second is monetization and reuse of sludge and wastewater. The third is livelihood generation opportunity by creating hearts, right? The fourth is increase public participation by increasing synergies between the stakeholders. Then fifth is promote the cultural heritage and tourism of Ganga and its surroundings. अभी आपने देखा होगा कि आपके गंगा में basically they have started a cruise which is nothing less than a 5-star hotel, right? And they are charging a lot, no doubt, but that is something which talks about increasing your tourism and heritage. Then the 6th point is promote institutional building by empowering local administration, right? So these are the 6 major components of Earth Ganga. Now coming to the next question, again a very important question. यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे तो यहाँ पे सारे अभी के करंट अफेयर के नहीं है, but the question, the pairs start with the current affairs and they have added something from the past also. So Mission Kaveri or Operation Kaveri is recently in the news or recently done by Government of India. Government of India has, we have seen in the past that they have this one, no matter which government is there, they have this one thing कि हमें हमारे लोगों को वापस लेके आना है safe and secure if there is any trouble happening in anywhere of the world, right? एक ये चीज़ है. दूसरा हमारा जो मेन फोकस रहता है टू हेल्प any country which is facing any disaster in the form of humanitarian assistance and relief missions, right? So इन दो के हमारे अभी रिसेंटली बहुत सारे मिशंस आए, जैसे कि आपने देखा होगा ऑपरेशन दोस्त, जहाँ पे हमने टर्की और सीरिया के अंदर क्या किया, ऑपरेशन दोस्त के अंदर वी हैव सेंड द ह्यूमैनिटेरियन असिस्टेंस. उसी तरीके से अभी आपने देखा होगा कि अंडर सुदान और इन सुदान there is a crisis going on, there is a civil war situation going on between the two leaders RSF and all. उनके अंदर क्राइसिस जो हो रहे थे, वहाँ पे आपकी हमने देखा कि हक्की पिक्की ट्राइब की बात की गई विच आर ऑल्सो स्ट्रेंडेड ओवर देयर, दे गो देयर टू सेल आयुर्वेदिक प्रोडक्ट्स एंड ऑयल, रिमेंबर? सो हक्की पिक्की ट्राइब एंड कावेरी ऑपरेशन, they are both linked, they are linked to Sudan, right? And this is bringing Indians stranded in Ukraine, so that would be wrong. They are basically the Indians stranded in Sudan. Now Samudra Setu mission, it repatriates Indians from overseas during COVID-19, that is करेक्ट, राइट? ये आपका बिल्कुल करेक्ट है. जो हमारा समुद्र सेतु था उसमें हमने वाटर के थ्रू जिन भी कंट्रीज से हम शिप्स के थ्रू लोगों को लेके आ सकते थे उन्हें वापस लेके आए. और एक और इससे बड़ा मिशन था, दैट इज वंदे भारत मिशन, जिसके थ्रू हम अगेन कोविड-19 का जब लॉकडाउन्स लगे, फ्लाइट्स बंद हो गई ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड, सो हम अपने लोगों को जो भी स्ट्रैंडेड थे किसी भी कंट्री के अंदर, नॉट जस्ट 1 or 2 कंट्री, इन एनी कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड, वी हैव ट्राइड टू ब्रॉट देम बैक. एंड अंडर वंदे भारत मिशन, under Vande Bharat mission, which is also same for COVID-19, we brought around 60 lakh people from different countries, and with the help of your navy, we have brought with the help of Samudra Setu mission operation. Operation Ganga is for Ukraine. यूक्रेन में जो लोग फंसे हुए थे, अभी जब रशिया ने यूक्रेन के ऊपर अटैक किया, दैट इज यहाँ पे इन्हें इंटरचेंज कर दिया गया है, राइट? सो दिस विल बी योर ऑपरेशन गंगा. Then you have Operation Sukoon. Operation Sukoon is related to what? Operation Sukoon is related to your Operation Sukoon is related to your Lebanon issue, right? So जो आपका लेबनान में 2006 में लोग फंसे थे उससे रिलेटेड है, नॉट येमन, राइट? So only one pair is correct and that one pair is your Samudra Setu, right? So answer will be 1. There are some other important missions जो अभी हमने देखे हैं थोड़े टाइम पहले, जैसे कि आपने देखा ऑपरेशन राहत. ऑपरेशन राहत इज फॉर यमन, राइट? यमन के लिए अगर आपसे कोई पूछे तो दैट विल बी ऑपरेशन राहत. ऑपरेशन राहत इज फॉर यमन. देन वी हैव ऑपरेशन मैत्री. जैसे मैंने अभी आपको ऑपरेशन दोस्त बताया, वैसे ही हमारे पास एक और ऑपरेशन है, ऑपरेशन मैत्री. जब नेपाल में अर्थक्वेक आया था तो वहां पे हमने क्या किया था, वी सेंड ह्यूमैनिटेरियन असिस्टेंस. So that is your Operation Maitri over there, right? Then we have Operation Rainbow and Castor in 2004. Operation Rainbow and Castor in 2004 to deal with the tsunami. 2004 में जो सुनामी आई थी, ऑपरेशन रेनबो एंड कैस्टर, सो श्रीलंका, मालदीव्स, वहाँ से लोगों को बचाने के लिए वी हैव स्टार्टेड दिस ऑपरेशन रेनबो एंड कैस्टर इन 2004, राइट. देन ऑपरेशन सेफ होम कमिंग of 2011 is from the Libyan war, Operation Safe Homecoming 2011 Libyan war. Then we have Operation Sankat Mochan in 2016. तो जो हम अभी देख रहे हैं कावेरी इन सुदान, इन्हीं का एक कंट्री है साउथ सुदान which basically got independence from them or got separated from them in 2011. So साउथ सुदान में जब ऑपरेशन किया गया था तो हमने उसका नाम दिया था ऑपरेशन संकट मोचन इन 2016. Then we have Operation देवी शक्ति, again very recent operation of in Afghanistan when US armies left, so that is your Operation Devi Shakti. Operation Devi Shakti in Afghanistan, right. So these are some of the other important operations that government of India has taken time and again to rescue its people and to provide relief and humanitarian assistance to the other people if there is a natural calamity, right. Then moving to the next question, with reference to population growth, consider the following statements. The world population reached 8 billion in 2022, taking nearly 5 decades to double from 4 billion. So यहाँ पे population इस साल बहुत important रही है. एक तो 7 बिलियन से 8 बिलियन पहुंच गई है अभी तक, जो हम बार बार लिख देते थे कि आवर पॉपुलेशन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड इज 7 बिलियन, नाउ यू हैव टू राइट 8 बिलियन, राइट. प्लस बहुत तेजी से बढ़ी है, राइट. इट वाज बेसिकली इन 1974 इट वाज अराउंड 4 बिलियन and now it has doubled in just 5 decades and it is 8 billion. As per the Youth in India report 2022, India is expected to see a decline in the share of youth in the population during 2021 to 2036. This statement is also correct, although our population is not going to slow down very soon, but हाँ हमारे youth की population अब कम होना start हो जाएगी, इस report के हिसाब से ऐसा मानना है. Very factual information, but since this topic has been very important, has been in the news कि India has surpassed China, although we haven't conducted the census yet, but yeah, the estimates are saying that we have surpassed China. So बहुत ज़्यादा population इस बार news में रहा है. So this statement is also correct, right? Then as per National Family Health Survey 5, the state of Meghalaya, Madhya Pradesh and Kerala have reached a fertility rate of below 2.1%. अब यहाँ पे आपको ये again very important National Family Health Survey 5 का data आया था. In that data, they have said that only 5 states are there, which are basically having your total fertility rate, which is above this fertility rate of 2.1%, right? So उनके अंदर आपका एक मेघालय भी है. So यहाँ पे जो मेघालय है ये गलत ऑप्शन दिया हुआ है. मेघालय, मणिपुर, यूपी, बिहार एंड झारखंड. These are the 5 states, right? Meghalaya, Manipur, UP, Bihar and Jharkhand. These are the 5 states where your total fertility rate is higher than 2.1%, right? So यहाँ पे ये एक exception है कि यहाँ पे ये गलत दिया हुआ है क्योंकि हमें वो 5 स्टेट याद करने हैं कि कहाँ पे ज़्यादा है. बाकी सारे स्टेट्स का बेसिकली आपका जो रेट है वो 2.1 या उसके बिलो आ चुका है. एंड द लीस्ट इज इन सिक्किम अराउंड 1.1, राइट. सो दीज आर सम facts, very factual question, but UPSC has the tendency to ask such kind of facts time and again. So a very important question, but this third statement is wrong. First 2 are correct, so the answer will be B, right? So that was all from my side for this week, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed giving these exams, and your nervousness that you people were having for UPSC will decrease a bit if you have been scoring good, hopefully, right? And don't worry about anything. You have prepared well. If you have been serious enough to give all these papers that are being conducted, all India open mock test, you are able to analyze yourself. Even if marks are less in few things, you need to idealize or you need to analyze or identify which portion is weaker, and you need to focus on that for a week or so apart from the other things. And I would recommend कि अब अगले जो 15 days आपके बचे हुए हैं, just focus on your revision of whatever you have studied, including your test papers, right? And nothing more is required. You have done a lot in last 1 year or whatever years you have been preparing for. You are well prepared and you don't need to worry about it. And hopefully we will be meeting again in the mains section, and we will be discussing something very different for the mains exams. So all the best from my side, and hope to see you all getting past the prelims with the flying colors. So thank you all. Have a great day.